Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck Sim live stream. Today is the 3rd of August 2023, 4 minutes past 4 in the afternoon here in the United Kingdom. Back at X-Plane 12 in the beta version of X-Plane 12 in the excellent ZIBO Mod 737. We're doing a little two-sector day for you. We're in Morocco, domestic Morocco ops. I don't think we've ever done a domestic Morocco ops before. We're in Fez, where the current temperature is actually 32 degrees. When I was planning this stream a couple of days ago, it was about 42 degrees. It seems to have cooled down a little bit, so I might have to rename, well, I have renamed the title of this about hot weather ops to sort of like Morocco ops instead now, but it's nice to test the latest version in X-Plane 12. You can see what's different as well. Now, it took me most of the preparation stream was actually to learn how to pronounce this destination we're going to, which is what one of the members of the channel suggested we'd fly to. Now, I've looked it up. It's Ouarzazate, but spelt with an O, lots of Z's, ending in an E. So that's our destination. Flight time each way 45 minutes. And nice short sector, and we're just going to follow my real world SOPs and procedures. Ortho 4XP for the entire sector. 2 excellent stock default airports. The gateway one I've updated for Ouarzazate, our destination, looks really, really nice as well. With the Ortho in the desert, looks superb. But yeah, we'll use the checklist as well. Make sure it's all interactive. It's been a while since we streamed. Whoever watched my last stream would have seen I had multiple internet issues. I never really found the issue or what was causing that. What I have done since then, instead of using a power line adapter via the hub to my internet, I've actually bought a 10-meter Ethernet cable, dragged it up the stairs. I've actually got it under the carpet, so it's not easy to be tripped over. And since then, not only had much quicker internet for my PC, utilising the full 300 meg I pay for, I don't seem to have had any stoppages since then. So fingers crossed, we won't have any issues. Having said that, I think the issue was more related to Microsoft Flight Simulator as opposed to X-Plane 12 on my system. But fingers crossed, I'll have a nice smooth experience for you, and the picture and sound quality is excellent. Anyway, let's zoom on in towards the aircraft. Couple of pings going on. Firstly, Marcus Drexel, thanks for joining as a member. Hope you're doing well. Glad you enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoy the members-only Discord as well, and enjoy using the custom agent chat. Ashton Howick for 2 months as a member said, "Hi Captain, hope you're well. Been flying the ZIBO a lot recently. Definitely prefer it to the PMDG now." Yes, I think it flies exceptionally well. I mean, really, I've always enjoyed it as well. The PMDG has some pros, but this is an aircraft that handles just like the 737, in my opinion. I really enjoy it. I'm glad you've been enjoying it too. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Who else got here in chat? We've got James Cooper. This afternoon, everyone. Benjamin Dot, who's only here for 30 minutes, doesn't have to pop off. Thanks for popping in regardless. Luke Zupan, Dishy McFlackface. Hope you're doing well. Edo, one of the moderators. Hi, all. Hope you're doing well. I enjoyed playing some Battlefield 1 with you the other day. That was really good fun on Discord. Chris Grosberg, hope you're doing well. Yes, I've been hearing about Buffalo Airways. I mean, I'm not subscribed to their YouTube channel, but it keeps coming up as suggested videos to watch this, and I think they've bought a 737-300 converted freighter flying it from Bournemouth to their headquarters, or going to Edmonton eventually onwards to Yellowknife, which is where we didn't we went to go visit virtually not so long ago in the Fokker F-28. So yeah, well, maybe we'll have to do some Buffalo Airways ops at some point. Thank you very much for the £20 donation, James Cooper. Very generous of you. Thank you very much, buddy.
Caught a stream. It's been a while.
Oh, it has.
Hope you're well. Only have half hour, so we'll watch tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much.
Best.
Thank you very much. Very enthusiastic. All the best there. That's very generous. Thanks for 20 quid, James. Keep appreciate that. And thanks for popping in for 30 minutes. You just might be able to see a takeoff if I keep the show on the road here. Everything's set up. I'm quite familiar with this aircraft, I'm pleased to say. But thank you very much for your donation, and the stream is always there to replay at any time. Thank you very much. Who else we got here? Pokemon Guy 0321 Sean Gamer Diol's waving to say hello. Hope you're doing well. And any advice for the LST? Says Marcin Bajassi. Best of luck. Have you heard of a document called the Sim Study Guide? Wink wink. Have a look at that. Review all of your profiles and procedures, and you'll be absolutely fine. Best of luck to you, buddy. Axel Reese, get you flying while flying from Kerry to Manchester. Great company. Excellent. Hope you're doing well. Paul Hampton, thanks for the advice. Arctis Pro, you got it. Excellent. I saw your comment as well. Great headset. I'm using it. I've been using it for streaming since I've started streaming. Excellent. Can't complain. It's the best sort of not hand mic, what do you call it, boom mic that you can get on any headset, in my opinion. I'm not paid to say that. Tim Fraser, hope you're doing well. Nice to see you here in chat too. Anyway, we're on the VATSIM network. I did see the Morocco VATSIM controllers tweet out saying they'll provide ATC, hopefully on the later sector. Oh, I actually have some ATC now, so that'd be good to get away. Anyway, woof, we'll go into the flight deck like that, and we'll get the aircraft all set up, ready to go. Now let's open the doors, the cargo doors, to extend the air stairs. I think it's just, oh, there's my face. nice. There you go, you can see the doors opened with the air stairs there. There's no air bridges here in Fez. I've never actually flown into Fez. I've been, well, I can't remember, it's been a long time ago, many years ago. I flew into one of the Moroccan airports, but not Fez, and certainly not Ouarzazate. But yeah, we'll look at some high altitude elevation ops. Ouarzazate's about 4,000 feet above sea level, so we'll have a look at how that will work there. You're the Moroccan ATC. Well, thank you very much, Slimanos Zaza. Give me 15 minutes, get the aircraft set up, and we'll be requesting clearance and get on our way. Requesting the... oh no, there's no SIDS here. It's a heading select departure, isn't it? Right, anyway, let's turn that down slightly and pop on the battery. We just need to get the ground power connected. So, GPU connect. Oh, why is it not firing up? Oh. It used to be really loud in here, didn't it, when with the GPU was on? Oh, I think the audio might have changed. Anyway, GPU is now available. The bypass pin was installed, we'll imagine, so electric hydraulic pumps can come on. Landing gear lever verifies in the down position, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights. I'm just going to disable Tobii eye tracker here for a second because it messes with the sort of default camera a little bit. There we are, it just makes it a little bit smoother when you're using that. Perfect, let's do the fault and fire test. So 3 squibs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got fault, APU detector in op, master caution, overheat detector. We can now reset that system. Let's do the fire test. 3 fire warning lights, engine overheat light, wheel well light. And we had the light of the bell going off as well. Very busy week at work. Very long sectors, slots. I've had aircraft changes, waiting at airports for 3 or 4 hours at a time. 4 days off of the moment, which I'm looking forward to. Might be able to squeeze another stream in tomorrow or maybe on Saturday. We'll see, but I'm busy on Sunday, my last day off. Smooth as ever transition to the flight deck channel. Yeah, I just slammed myself in today. Anthony, the only face you've seen is acting as the Grand Poobah at the Sons of Alpaca's Lodge meeting. I'm not going to raise the bait there, Anthony Teal. Brilliant. Let's do our overhead panel scan. Emergency exit lights armed. Test the attend button. Flaps are up, which match the indicated position. Let's do the cargo fire test. Forward aft discharge. We've got the extinguisher lights on. No detector fault. Fire warning light and a bell is illuminated. Turn up the panel lighting. Now, I am running the beta version of X-Plane 12. Is it 0.06B3? I did a quick test sector earlier, no problems. I think the lighting's a little better, still a little too dark for my liking in here. And unfortunately, a lot of people have been telling me the clouds have improved significantly. Well, it's Cav OK and Fez, and Cav OK and our destination Ouarzazate. Well, at least we could enjoy the scenery with the ortho. But yeah, we'll perhaps do another sector soon so we can see the new clouds. That could go over to VHF1, and that could go there. Rudder on trim, we check to make sure it's free and 0. Gear extension door is closed. Circuit breakers are in. Wait a little bit longer for the stall warning test. Back airspeed warning test is done. IRS, oops, to nav. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 minutes for the alignment. Circuit breakers are all in. We then check all the safety equipment, the technical log to make sure the aircraft is serviceable. Jamlin, 41 months as a member. Thank you very much. Afternoon from the holidays in Orlando. Orlando, US, any tech log entries recently? Thank you very much, Jamlin, for the 41 months. No tech log entries in the ZIBO mod. Fully serviceable today. I hope you're doing well and enjoy the rest of your holiday. And I've seen your point about the aircraft order. I'll change that after the stream. I just tagged you in there. Callum Pope, thanks again for the €6. Your bike.
My motorbike from last stream was delivered in perfect condition.
Oh, it wasn't. I smashed
Thanks, and I'll promote Alpaca Cargo for sure.
Excellent.
Have a good flight today, Captain.
Thank you very much. Oh, so thank you very much, Canon King, for the €6 donation. Yes, our last stream in the PMDG 737 from East Midlands. That beautiful scenery from Pirigui. We went to, where did we go to? Exeter, and your bike was on board, and I had quite a firm landing, didn't I? But it was cushioned by pasties, if I remember. Thank you very much for your donation, buddy. Stay safe and be safe on your bike as well. 0321, sure, clouds have improved, but needs further work at some spots. They look amazing, but others it's quite squared for natural shapes, but they're on the right track. Perfect. We'll see. We'll keep an eye out for any clouds today. I can't remember where I got to. Did the safety inspection. Right, let's grab the ATIS. So we do actually have the ATIS on 1278 and some ATC. And we've got a backtrack here as well. It's a lovely long runway, but no parallel taxiway. Let's see if we can get some weather.
Wet variable between 300 and 030. Tag OK. Temperature 32.
32 degrees.
2.12. Altimeter 1016. Advise on initial contact. You have information alpha.
Information Alpha. 1016. James fixed 24 months. 2 years went quick.
It's International
Sneaky
Airport
streak
8
today.
has information Alpha 1430 Zulu Special. Runway 09 are in use. Transition
09 for
level
departure.
80. Presence of birds in the vicinity of the airport.
Virtual birds.
Caution recommended. Web 350 at 8. Web variable between 300 and 030. Tag OK. Temperature 32.
Perfect, so I've copied all the information there. So runway 09, I was expecting 27. I'm just going to put that in my OPT, change this round here. It's actually a slight tailwind for departure. And I just want to see, because there's no SIDS here, departure for this runway. This is some sort of inside knowledge about the airport. So for departures off 09, it is climb straight ahead to 4,100, omnidirectional turn for en route navigation. That's easy to remember. 32 degrees, and the QNH is 1016. Sorry, I was saying James Cooper, 24 months, 2 years as a member with an alpaca badge next to your name. Thank you very much for your support for that entire time. That went quick. Hope for a sneaky stream Saturday then. We'll see what I can do. I'll be present for the whole thing, or even fly along in the A320. Sorry. Oh, well, you're not welcome anymore. I'm joking. Thanks, buddy. I hope you do well. Thank you for your support for this time. Alan Hughes, just a quick hello, everyone. Just popped in before starting to get good ladies' tea. Have a great flight. We'll watch rest later. Thank you very much for popping in, Alan. You must never forget to provide tea to your fair lady. Thank you very much for popping in. Excellent. So I've got the weather. Enter IRS heading. I wonder if that's because I moved it to attitude briefly. Not sure. It seems to have sorted itself out. Time to load up the routes though. FMC, I'll show you a map shortly where we're going. Golf Mike Foxtrot Foxtrot. GPS left position is going in. We're going to Ouarzazate, which is Golf Mike Zulu, as I mentioned briefly earlier. Elevation here 3,800 feet. So we'll talk about the threats associated with high altitude hot weather operations on the approach. Call sign is Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo for the first sector. Departing off 09, there's no SID, so there's nothing to select, so all you do is go straight to the routing, direct to Vaxam. Thank you whoever that was member-wise pinging, I'll read that shortly. I'll just get the routing in first. So it'll be a heading select departure, eventually routing to Vaxam, then direct to Sodsa. From Sodsa, it's Mike 372 to Bravo Mike Lima. And from Bravo Mike Lima, it's the Quebec 401 to Ratva. And we're expecting a Ratva 1 Alpha, ILS Yankee, Ratva 1 Alpha, and it's the Tidmo transition. We'll activate that, we'll execute, and we'll put the performance in. Next, Timmy. Timmy plays 30 months. Thank you very much for your time as a member. 2.5 years over. Always great to catch the rare stream live from Australia. Unfortunately, flying on an A320 tomorrow. That's the second quip towards an A320 today. Hopefully, they have more of a clue on it than you do. Banter, unbelievable. I've got no word to this. I'm out of here. Unbelievable. Lots of Airbus banter here. Yes, I hope they do know a lot more than the Airbus for your sake. I'm getting to get the hang of it, but every time I fly in it, I do get a bit confused. Thank you very much for your support and for popping in. Right, let's do the performance. So we're going to go to init index perf 0 fuel weights. Oh no, we haven't loaded the mod up yet. So we go here to fuel weight and balance payload. We'll take 180 passengers, so 180 packs, and we'll put some bags in the hold, the forward cargo hold. We'll put 600 kilos of checked in bags. That should be loading instantaneously. Fuel, we'll have a look at the flight plan. There's no some events. It should be quite quiet, so we'll take standard fuel, see how we get on. So 4.8 tons. I'd be asking for 4.9. Weather's absolutely perfect. 4.9 on the fuel, and we'll call for the fuel truck.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Excellent. User fuel weights in. That's 59.4. Our alternate is Marrakesh, Romeo Alpha Kilo. We need 2.2 tons to get there and arrive with our final reserves intact. Our cost index is 30 today. Our cruising level is flight level 250, that's in the FMC. Top of climb wind and the average wind are pretty much the same, so I'll just go with top of climb wind and we'll call that average as well. 299 at 14, using reserve fuel, that's normal because we're still refueling. Top of climb ISA is plus 14 degrees. Now we've got the latest weather conditions. I've got the OPT in front of me because of the runway change, and I didn't get a chance to do a screenshot, but I'm just calculating this now. For 09, the wind 32 degrees, QNH 1016. It says full length 09 only available. We can take 24k reduced at 39 degrees assumed temperature, and that's going to be 93.5. This is 94.5, so it's going to be wind 0.2 once we put the AP bleed on. The V speed should be 140, 140, 144. So a little bit off. That's because I'm still refueling. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll put the final speeds in, because the gross weights, you see how the speeds are increasing? By the time refueling is complete, they will be within a knot of this. So 140, 140, and 144. And we'll set V2 on the MCP here. There we are, so performance is complete. Runway 09, there's what they call an engine outsid. So at my operator, if the engine was to fail, this is what we do taking off from runway 09. We climb from Fez until we're 9.5 miles from the VOR, and then once we're there, it's a left turn back to the beacon to hold over the VOR, which is pretty much over the airfield, and we'll climb to the MSA, which is about 7,000 feet here. Perfect. We'll now do a panel scan because we're going to do the full checklist. I better just check the oxygen. Make sure in the event of a depressurization we can breathe. That's all fine. There should be a yellow box there in real life, and we'll do a light test as well.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Excellent. We'll put the seatbelt sign on then, and all the lighting is on up there. Perfect. We'll restart that too. Pascal says, as you're in the ZIBO, you should really try out the fly-by-wire A320 again, especially for the sounds. Is that the one in Microsoft Flight Simulator? I will perhaps try that again at some point there. Almighty Snug was only for a reaction, which has a neat system. A fuse is located on the outside of the fuselage that will break if you try and retract a wheel with a blown tyre, thus lowering the gear once more. Yes, that's in the wheel well, I believe, but I think I might have missed what else you were referring to there. Perfect, that's all done. Yeah, overhead panel now. Yaw dampers on, nav transfer display switch is normal auto. We'll check the crossfeed valve. Look how warm that fuel is, having loaded up here in Fez. Bright, dim, bright, off. Pumps on for tanks containing fuel. Panel lighting. Yeah, I mean, in the day, the panel lighting you cannot see. In the mod, unfortunately, you can. So it's only at night it illuminates the white backlighting there. James Scanlan, I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for joining as a member. Invited to the members only Discord for you. Enjoy using the custom modes in chat. Thank you very much for the support. Another member on board. Thank you very much. Pax Auto open. 25,000 feet to cruise level. The elevation at our destination is 3,800. Right, we'll pop on the flight directors. There's no SID for this airport, so when there's no SID, it's usually climb runway heading until you get to your en route safety altitude, and then you turn en route. So just to show you, the runway QDM for 09 is 092. So we'll just set 092 on the heading and the courses, just so we've got something tuned there. There we go. We'll turn up the panel lighting here. Again, you wouldn't see the back white lighting, but you can now see the MCP is brighter. That is accurate. We'll get the clearance shortly. Order brake to RTO. Reset the fuel flow. QNH is set. FMC is all configured for departure. And did I do the trim? No, I forgot to do the trim. Look, 16.4%, 6.25 units. I've noticed the mod, again, I don't know if it's the latest beta, but if you set the trim exactly, the nose seems to be coming up on its own around 10 knots before VR, which it shouldn't do. So what I'm going to do is just set about 6 units there. Just stops that nose coming up. It's still unrealistic. Rorik says, what's more realistic, level up or ZIBO? It's the ZIBO, the level up. I've only flown it a couple of times, I think, and not since it was... Is it still going? The texturing, the modelling was really nice, but the flight model was not. But if it's still going, perhaps I might try again one day. We'll see. Right, let's grab the clearance and see what else we need to do. Get the actually, you know what? I just realised it would be 32 degrees Celsius here. We would have got that APU started straight away. So let's get it on now. Get some nice cool air into the cabin. This cat says still on V1, I think. Yeah, I've not. I think I've played Aimstreet it once, and it was nice, but the fly model, yeah, the flight controls are really laggy. I think, if I remember rightly. Cool. I think I've got a bit of noise on my speed brake. That's what that clicking is. Yeah, it does this. Yeah, there we are. Right, let me grab the clearance from ATC. There we go. I forgot where I am. Fez. I don't know if they have a name for the tower here, or is it just Fez Approach? Fez Tower. Fez Tower, hello, it's Alpaca 1, Foxtrot Echo, stand 5, copied information, Alpha 1016, departure clearance to Ouarzazate, please.
Alpaca 1, Foxtrot Echo, safe approach, very good evening. Information Bravo is now current, start approved, clear to your destination, runway 09 in use. After departure, fly runway heading, squawk 3653.
That's now information Bravo, runway 09 for departure. After departure, fly runway heading and squawk 3653, Alpaca 1, Foxtrot Echo.
Echo 1, Foxtrot Echo, correction, squawk 3635.
3635, Alpaca 1, Foxtrot Echo.
Echo 1, Foxtrot Echo, correct.
Perfect, so 3635. We didn't get an altitude, so what I'll do, I'll put the cruise level set.
Approach hello, Alpaca 56 Lima, India, MSA 320, stand Romeo 7, information.
What was it, 25? No, we're cruising now, 250.
Please.
That was a great pronunciation from him as well. I think it's Ouarzazate. That's what Google said anyway. Or Lima Echo Lima 3 says Ouarzazate. We'll go for that one. Cool. I think we're all good to go. We just need to run the checklist just to show you where we are. Look, we're on stand Romeo 5, pushback. Most likely to face west actually now for runway 09, and then we'll taxi maybe to November, backtrack 180, take off from 09, and then there's no SID, So we'll take off runway heading, and before we turn maybe left or right, we'll make sure we're nice and high above the terrain here, routing towards Sutsa Didov, Bravo Mike Lima, Rhubarb, love that, and then Ratva, and here is Ouarzazate nestled. Is this the Atlas Mountains? To the south of the mountains there, and there is the world, Northern Africa, here in Morocco. Perfect, so pretty much brief taxi and SID. We'll just do a checklist and we'll get on our way.
Safety inspection checklist. Surfaces and chocks.
Checked.
Maintenance status.
That's what I made
Checked.
earlier.
Battery.
Great news, Captain.
On.
Your toe's
Electric
coming.
hydraulic
Excellent.
pumps.
On.
Landing gear lever.
Down.
Ship's library.
Checked.
Safety inspection checklist complete.
Perfect, so nice cool air coming into the cabin, APU bleeds on, let's close the door. Oh, we'll make sure I just press start flight leg to start the boarding. And we'll do this before start checklist
Before
to the
start
line.
checklist to the line. IRS mode selectors.
Nav.
Gear pins.
Removed.
Light test.
Checked.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Yaw damper.
On.
Nav transfer and display switches.
Normal and auto.
Fuel.
I just realised I forgot to set the MFRA, that's 2896. It's about 1,000 feet AGL. This is the height at which we accelerate in the event of an engine failure. 2896. So, holding the checklist on fuel, we always get the...
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
It's V1 simulations. I always check the fuel on here. So block is 4.8. We've got 4.9 on board.
Checked.
Fuel pump.
And 4 pumps on.
4 pumps on.
Cabin util IFE galley power.
On.
Emergency exit lights.
Out.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto. Bleeds on.
Pressurization.
So 250 and land at 3,800 set, and it's all configured.
Set.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Hydraulics.
Normal.
Speed brake.
Down D10.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Wheel well fire warning.
Checked.
Radios, radar and transponder.
That is set and standby.
Set and standby.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Takeoff briefing.
Discussed.
PA.
It's complete.
Complete.
Did it? I did it in
FMC
Arabic.
CDU.
Set.
N1 and IAS books.
24k.
N1 and IIS
Speed
auto.
set.
V-speed set.
Stab trim.
Set.
Performance, weight and balance.
Checked.
EFB.
Airplane mode and
Do you want me to do a PA? I
Phones.
can do jump on one if anyone else wants
Flight
me
deck
to.
windows and
I'll
cockpit
be
door.
careful not to reveal my operator. That's fine, we're holding on there. Let me close the doors. So retract the air stairs, close the doors. And I will close this one manually.
Closed.
Doors.
Closed.
Passengers.
Seated.
Before start checklist completed to the line.
Excellent. I'll do a very quick PA. Martin, I'm not going to say that. Tim Fraser says, cheers, Jamlin. Hope you're doing well. As he said hello to you. Jamlin says, oh no, Tim. Oh, what's up with Tim? Might be made redundant. Oh, sorry to hear that, Tim. I hope you're not made redundant and stay safe and well if you are. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Mr. Pollard says, hi, Captain. What a beautiful picture of your... Oh, Puglia. Yeah, you posted. I really enjoy your flight deck. Insta stories, yeah, I was on my way back from Greece yesterday and it was absolutely stunning. The first officer, really nice guy, Italian, and he was really keen to do the pilot monitoring sector. And when we were in Italian airspace, he did all the radio, so he could do his Italian thing. But he was explaining to me about the shoe, the boot of Italy, and we went right over the heel of the boot, Pegulia, and it was fantastic. It was completely clear, pretty much all south of Europe yesterday. So smooth as well. Really enjoyed the flight. I did a bit of Pink Floyd as well on one of the Instagram stories. Who doesn't like a bit of Pink Floyd? Right, yeah, PA then. So, right, so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On the flight deck, Captain speaking. Welcome aboard this Alpaca Airways flight to Ouarzazate. Joining me in the flight is Jim, and in the back we've got Janet, Jane, Julie, and Josh. All ready to go. Pushing back the next few minutes. Flight time 45 minutes and 25,000 feet. Lovely view of the Atlas Mountains. Taking off from runway 27 today in Fez. Weather pretty much identical to Fez as well. It's 32 degrees, winds from the west. Doors are now closed. Camp crew show you a safety demonstration. Please pay full attention. You're all very welcome on board. Yeah, you guys love me doing it. You know I'm going to trip over myself one day and end up stating my operator, which I do on every other stream anyway. Right, should we get out of here? Oh dear, oh dear. And Fez Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo stand 5 request push and start.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo start, pushback approved facing west. Just caution the company A320 on your left.
Push approved to face west and we'll keep clear of company traffic. Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Let's make sure he's well clear. We should be fine. We'll just tuck up behind him. So, better push back.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
So something like that, and then that. Perfect.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
We're almost ready, and out off below the line, please, Jim.
Before start checklist below the line. Air conditioning packs.
Off.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Parking brake.
Set.
Transponder.
Out of.
Before start checklist complete.
Chris, it's clearly not a real pilot. BA was far too intelligible. Needs more muffle. I'm trying hard for it. I'll do it like that next time. Thanks, buddy. Pete, hope you're doing well, my friend. 32 months. You should have flown Oslo, Reykjavik, Oslo for this stream. Cookie has just started squawking for his last sector as a real pilot. Brilliant. Yeah, it's one of my moderators and members. 737 Cookie. He's been flying the 737 for the last few months. He's just about to transition onto the A320, and it's his last ever flight on the 73s en route to Reykjavik. So go say hello to him on flight radar if you so wish. Excellent. Thanks, Pete. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's go. Parking brakes released. Yeah, yes, because it's such a secret. I know Liam Echo. No one knows. Is this V3.3? Yes, it's the latest version, 3.3 B3, I think, or B or C. I don't know. Yeah, I know 3.2. It wasn't working properly. How do you get that extra back step on the taxiway in better pushback? Where's that, Martin? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Clear of the Airbus. We've gone for skipper wingtips today. Oh yeah, don't know most in it. You used to do a real PA before the second sector. Yeah, we're taking off from. I've seen. What's that video on YouTube of a guy doing that? I've seen it before. Right, starting to. I have to say, it's nice to be streaming 32 minutes in and no internet issues. Touch wood. Seems to be going well. Oh, I love the sounds of the mods so much. So N2, N1, oil pressure 25%, fuel in, try your best you can, single desktop pilot to see the spar valve go from dim to bright and off. Excellent. We want to be much closer than that, we'll be very comfortable for the ground crew. Francesca, we already know the operator. I know you too. My operator knows about it. Start cut out 2463 stable. Starting one, we'll do isolated pack start because it's quite hot, so we'll close the isolation valve, right pack auto. So engine 2 bleeds, providing conditioned air, and then the APU can now be used to start engine number 1.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Take your time, sir. N2. So it looks a bit messy in the ND, but that's normal because we're doing a heading select departure, and the FMC is just trying to work out how to get to the first waypoint. So this picture you're seeing is pretty realistic, actually, if you were to put something in just direct to a waypoint without a SID. Yes, guys, I know Cookie doesn't mind that being shared, I guess, but yes, have a look on Flight Radar for that flight number. It's one of the moderators on his last flight in 737. Right, started cutout monitoring 12631 stable. Let's do the before taxi flow. Generators
and we're
on.
disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Thank you. We'd only do this after seeing the pin as well. So that's all done. Flaps to 5. Let's look out for the pin.
Alpaca 56 Lima, India via November, backtrack and line up runway 09.
Via November, backtrack, line up.
Need to get the Alpaca Airways tug livery installed. Our pin all seen, so flaps to 5. Let's go for flight controls. Oh, hello everyone. I'm sporting blue today. Look, blue with a white stripe. Full forward, full back. Left, centre, right, centre. Here comes rudders, full right and full left. Recall and blank the lower DU, and let's now do the before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators.
On.
APU.
Off.
Start switches.
Continuous.
Don't worry, the trade table makes up the fake airplane. That is true, Mr. President.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto, bleeds on.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Flaps.
Flips 5 required and selected, green light.
Perfect.
Stab trim.
Set.
Start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Recall.
Checked.
Before taxi checklist complete.
So I don't know if anyone can answer this. I noticed on my test sector. Will it do it now? Yes. Is this something to do with the ortho tile? The tile's fine, but there seems to be like a box and a purple sort of. You can sort of see it. I think it's to do with the ortho tile. Maybe the terrain mesh didn't work or something. I don't know, but the tiles are all fine for this sector. I tested it. It's like a weird purple box there. And Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo request taxi.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo taxi holding point November.
Taxi holding point November, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So we've got to wait until he departs, but he's already backtracking. And just to show you where we are, it's just a straight line holding short of November there. So parking brake released, turn off taxi on, config. Back to 35%. Oh, what a lovely spool up time. Still a little bit too fast in the mod. Burley Aviation says, or Brearley Aviation, hey all, what do you think about the ground friction on the ZIBO and Expo 12? I noticed the ground, the speed reduction is pretty quick when back at idle compared to what it was. Let's have a look. It should on flat ground roll for quite some time, so I'll go idle now. Let's see how we are. I mean, it could be downslope here, but that looks pretty good to me. Wind has a massive impact as well, Burley Aviation. So if you're taxiing in a 30 knot headwind, it acts like a brake. It makes a big difference, a strong headwind. Right, before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config.
Checked.
Flaps.
Flips 5 set, green light.
Stab trim.
Set.
Takeoff briefing.
Pax auto bleeds on, V-speed set for departure, 40, 40, 44 on the MCP, and no V-speeds on the PFD. Departure runway heading to the cruise level 250, NADP 2, so we'll accelerate it to 2,900 feet. Any problems will climb straight ahead and make a turn back to the VOR to hold at 7,000 feet.
Reviewed.
Cabin.
Secured.
Before takeoff checklist completed to the line.
Perfect, all ready to go. Just need to backtrack for departure. There's no other real threats. There's a lot of high terrain to the south, so if there's anything wrong, we've got this engine outset. There's the Atlas Mountains over there.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo via November, backtrack and line up runway 09.
Via November, line up, backtrack, runway 09, and we are ready for departure on reaching Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Perfect. Cleared to line up and wait, backtrack. Oh yeah, heading select departure. You don't have to push heading select actually. When you push toga, it automatically arms. Not very good taxi for me.
Lima India, you're identified, climb flight level 170.
Climb 170, Alpaca 56 Lima India.
So this could be uphill here, because I've got about 36%, but it's not really accelerating well here. I'd expect it to go a little more. But, you know, the Orpha, look, you can see it's quite sloped and pronounced slopes here.
Cap 1819, stand Romeo 11, type A320, request clearance to Ouarzazate.
Beautiful pronunciation. Pronunciation. The irony. Can't pronounce pronunciation. Yes, you don't need to push heading select. Look, I'll deselect it. When you push toga, heading select automatically engages, as I'll now demonstrate. Doesn't make any difference. Ooh, they've changed something here. Look at the textures on the default runways. They look really nice. But there seems to be a bit of, I don't know, like a nice cinematic effect on the lighting. Maximum speed for backtracking on a runway is actually 50 knots on my operator. That is a maximum, not a target. If you've got a long way to go, sort of go up to 40 knots is okay.
Alpaca 56 Lima India, by the right, proceed direct to Sotsa.
QT toga is the right button, absolutely. It has been set up, but I use a button on my control column. Or the quadrant. Yeah, the default ground textures are very nice. Anyway, I should have weather and airport selected. So I haven't got a takeoff clearance yet. And the OPT performance is a full length only, so you want to make sure you don't turn too early. Yeah, the taxiing in this is lovely. It's got so much inertia, just like the real plane. 09 cleared takeoff, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So, cleared takeoff. Taxi light can go on to remind us to be cleared for takeoff. And timing. Let's go to Ouarzazate. 40%. Not a bad line-up, look at that. A little bit more thrust. That's all stabilised. Set takeoff thrust. Sim's looking fantastic. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal.
1819 ready for push and start.
Recap 1819, pushback approved, facing west.
Pushback approved, facing west, red cap 1819.
80 knots.
Checked, release forward pressure. Have a look at the ground. Oh, the nose is coming up on its own, that's a bit of a ZIBO mod. Don't trim whilst on the takeoff roll. Bit of a tailwind here. Look at the ground speed.
V1.
Oh my goodness me, up we go. Ooh, big dead band there, flipping heck, seems a bit exaggerated. Something's changed here. Positive climb, gear up. Having to use a lot of back pressure there. I mean, it wasn't quite trim. The nose started coming up, so to alleviate that, I started trimming nose down on the takeoff roll. Never, ever, ever do that.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, you identified, climb flight level 170.
Dive level 170, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. I'll do a flyby shortly, everyone's favourites. So I'll bug up, just want to set the new crew, cleared level, 170 checked, bug up. Flaps 1. Flight director should be a little quicker coming down here to allow the aircraft to accelerate. Sort of coming down slowly though. And flaps up. Keep trimming, nicely in trim. Everyone's favourite, we're going to do a flyby. Oh, majestic. The best ever. What's the elevation here? I'm having a look at my notes. 1896.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo by the right, proceed direct to Vaxum.
Direct Vaxum, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So, it's all in trim. Look, so once it's in trim, you can quite comfortably let go. You don't want to.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, apologies, proceed direct to Sunset.
Direct Sunset, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So that's engaged, LNAV available, and once it's in trim, LNAV, look, it's exactly how I left it. See how I left it? And it's still at the upspeed. The real aircraft, it's lovely and stable, and once you've got it in trim, you can sort of, only requires very gentle inputs. So I was heads down there doing the job as pilot monitoring, and see how it was exactly at the upspeed there. So we'll select VNAV, the aircraft's to accelerate to 250 in a turn, that's fine. Set standard. Passing 65 flight level 170. I'll just do one more update to SODSA to widen that turn. There we are, that's going to help LNAV, just like the real aircraft too. It'll build a turn based off your speed, so if you update it at 250 knots, it'll give you a nice wider, more comfortable arc. Beautiful. Look at the terrain down here. I'm a real lover of ortho. It looks so good, very crisp. Once you get a sort of above 5,000 feet, to zoom level 17 here. Did I forget to start the timer? Oh no, it's Jim's timer, isn't it? It's 250 knots as well. There we are, Command A. And after takeoff checklist. Gears off, water brakes off. Start switches to off, air conditioning and pressurization, 3.0. Slowly climbing. And that's all set. Warm it up slightly, otherwise everyone's going to be freezing. Release the cabin crew. There we are. After takeoff checklist complete. That's done silently. Oh, I didn't do below line checks, but I did do them. Just didn't run the checklist, that's all. There we are on our way. ETA should be landing at 26, 40 minutes from now. Perfect. Probably very loud that was. Right, passing 102, 170, pre-cruise check, so fuel 4 pumps, and wings are balanced, only 20 kilos difference. Lights coming off. Oops, forgot to turn the strobes on, and the AP is off, pressurization is 3.5 and set. Release the passengers recall. There we are, pre-cruise checks complete. Look at that stunning scenery, it's absolutely beautiful here. Gamer, is there a switch for alternate brakes, or does System A automatically pressurize the brakes? So, all you need to simply do is select this to alternate, and it uses System A pressure normally and System B pressure. With the alternate brake system. So if you lose System A, you move that switch to alternate. So as soon as we get to 25,000 feet, we'll start setting up for the approach. It's a very short flight today. Mr. Polvarts, I did see you acting as cabin crew. Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will be coming around in about 10 minutes. Time to offer you a light snack beverage and alpaca wool beanies. 126.5, thank you very much for the ATC, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. See you later. So over to our radar. Wow, there's lots of ATC today, it's great. And Casablanca, Assalamu alaikum, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, climb flight level 170 to Sodset.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, Casablanca, alaikum assalam, welcome to climb flight level 250.
Climb flight level 250, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. 250 is set. That's the cruise level. We make sure it's set on the overhead panel, the MCP, then verify on the cruise page. 250 is set as well. There we are. Rick, what ortho definition is used? I use generally Zoom 17 around the airports, 15 en route. I used to use 17 for the entire flight today because now I am using an Ethernet cable straight from my router to my PC. I'm no longer plagued by the slower speeds from my powerline adapter, so I'm not so restricted by size now, and I download Ortho on a stream by stream basis, so I'll delete these tiles after today's stream. And the big maps have been all updated, so I'm not a fan of storing them long term because the images are updated frequently by Microsoft. So yeah, 17, I think it was about 20 tiles for this flight. I usually do loads around, but I was able to download it overnight. It took about 4 hours for about 20 level 7 tables. Yes, my Ethernet cable. I'm really annoyed with myself that I didn't do this sooner. I've been using Powerline for years, and my hub is under the stairs at my house here, and all I bought was a 10-meter cable, and I put it under the carpet, just lifted the carpet up, so it's out of sight. It's just from the stairs, sort of up the side of the stairs and under the carpet into the office. But my ping is reduced really low number as well. I'm not internet tech savvy, I'm not tech savvy at all, but yeah, I can download 1 gigabyte now in about 25 seconds. It's great. And yeah, Steve, cable is best, cheap, easy, reliable. Yeah, I bought it from Amazon, and it's a flat cable, so it's I could fit it under the door. So yeah, what was it? It was £10 or £12 or something for 10 meters. Yeah, I've binned the power line. So yeah, very happy. Hope Jack hasn't tripped over the cable on the stairs. No, that would not be ideal. Or chew on it. He's never done such a thing. Right, just whilst we're blasting up to 250, we do it on real life on very short sectors like this. Pilot monitoring starts inputting or getting things like the ATIS at destination, or pilot flying starts doing the FMC, handing over control early. So we'll sort of do that now. The elevation here is very high as well at our destination, 3,800 feet. Ooh. Oh yeah, that was the climb page, that's why.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot aircraft, Sodsa, crossing direct, Rubab.
Sodsa, Rubab, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So we are Sodsa, Rubab, execute, it's in the FMC. Nice little shortcut for us, and very atypical of the shortcuts you get in real life too. So, winds 200 and 100. 076 at 4, might as well not put them in, and 10,000 feet, 110 at 5. Excellent. The QNH at Ouarzazate is 1013. Oh wow, it is very hot here, 41 degrees, and we've got to also take into account the elevation here, 3,800 feet. Now, it's been a long time since I've done my ATPL days. I've forgotten how to exactly calculate density altitude. However, my handy app has just calculated it for me. So if I turn on Yoke Cam here, you can see where is it? 40. Oh no, where was I want to show you? I hope no one calls me. I might know our names. Right, I don't know if you can see that. It's not very clear. That's the density altitude. So the density altitude is 7,557 feet. So even though the elevation is 3,800. It has the same air density as it would be in icy conditions at 7,500 feet, and there's a lot of implications on aircraft performance here. The main one is your true airspeed. In comparison to your ground speed, is going to be much higher than your indicated. So you've got to really watch out for your performance here. Less lift, less drag, which is an issue when trying to slow down on a runway. Brakes overheating. So you want to use max reverse thrust and flat 40, high flap setting here, just to get your ground speed and true airspeed as low as possible on this approach. So it's so hot and so high, it's a big implication performance-wise. So we are very fortunate to have these days the OPT. We just punch in the numbers and it tells everything for you. But yeah, you've got to be monitoring your speed very, very carefully to ensure that you keep your true airspeed as low as possible and your ground speed as well. You'll see it on the approach here. Density altitude is modelled perfectly in X-Plane. Another big threat is VNAV in an aircraft like this. VNAV is a barrow-aided descent tool, so you need to ensure that you have the correct QNH set firstly to ensure you have an accurate profile. But when it's hot, VNAV puts you higher than you actually are. To the degree where in these sort of temperatures, if you were to fly a non-precision approach in VNAV, I can guarantee you'll be 4 whites when it spits you out at minimums. Depending on where you are, it'll put you very, very high indeed. Ooh, what's going on? There's a flicker. Is anyone seeing that? I'm getting sort of weird Did you see that, guys? I'm getting sort of weird graphics things. I don't know if you're seeing that. Uh-oh. Ah, one problem to another. Screen's all flashing out. There we are, 25,000 feet. Inbound to Roubaix with 80 miles to go. Top descent 100 miles. Oh, what's good? I'm getting weird flickering. Could that be a X-Plane beta thing? Let's have a look outside. Oh, what is going on? One problem to another. I've fixed my internet issues and now I'm getting some weird flickering. I've not seen that. Uh-oh. Could be a GPU issue. Uh-oh. Oh, it seems to have stopped now. Well, I've never ever seen that before. Classic high temperature, GPU overheating, hopefully not a GPU issue. Check your temps. Oh, okay, let me have a look. Performance. GPU. 58 degrees? GPU temperature 58 degrees? Is that a good temperature for a GPU? It looks okay to me. 33% utilization at the moment. Aliens! Yeah, GPU 38 degrees. Memory 48%. CPU 18%. 58 is fine, nothing special. Oh, it seems to have stopped now. Okay, I've not seen that ever. Not seen that on live stream, never seen it without it. Okay. I've been experiencing that flickering since X-Plane Beta 6B2. Okay, I've never seen it before, and seeing this is a beta version of X-Plane, I wonder if that's anything to do with that. It's just playing on the cable, maybe. Hey, at least it's working. Probably an X-Plane thing, yeah, maybe something messing around with the GPU. Right, so yeah, we discussed that then, the hot temperature. Let's start setting up for this approach. So we'll like a rat for 1 alpha. Finally got my navigraph synced up with this now. GMMZ. So arrival, it's going to be our rat for 1 alpha. If not, we'll request it because that's the transition straight onto the ILS via TIDMO. And it's going to be ILS Yankee. So, fix rings. So, let me just double check the weather as well. Are we still... do we have 80s? Oh, it's Golf. What's the code? Golf Mike Zulu. No, unfortunately, no 80s. Oh, it's going back, look. Yeah, is that an the fact that some other people are having it too. But yeah, I've never had any overheating issues. So surface winds variable 1 knot, and they prefer runway 30 here. So fix rings. 10, 4. I generally don't use betas as well, but people are saying they have no issues with it. That's all in. So 3 times height, we'll configure gear down flat at 15 at 4 miles, 10 miles, and we might configure a bit sooner with the ground speed being considerably higher today. Definitely using flat 42. So fix rings in. Let's have a look at this arrival then. So coming in via Ratva, max 250 knots at or above flight level 155. Look at all this high terrain to the north from the Atlas Mountains. Then it's to Mike Zulu 219. Max 250 at or above 14,000. Checks the FMC. 215, and then to Tidmo. Tidmo 9,000 times for above 210 knots. So happy with the arrival, it's all coded correctly, and we've checked it in the FMC. There's no radar here, so it's procedural arrival. Going straight onto the ILS then via Tidmo, we're going to Mike Zulu 304, which is on the extended sensor line, at or above 7,800, max 210 knots. And then it's Mike Zulu 302. 6,500 feet, and that is the final approach fix. Now this seems very high, but don't forget the elevation here is 3,800 feet, so we're going to be, what's that, about 2,700 feet above the ground here. 3 degree ILS, that checks in the FMC, 3 degrees PMDG, and the minimum's 240 feet AGL, which is 3951 on the altimeter. So we talk about temperature error when it's cold. We don't make temperature corrections when it's hot. You will be higher than you want to be, but it's terrain-wise safer. So that's it. Frequencies 110.3. That's active. We'll put, I think there's a VOR on the airport. There is, 1167. 167. So frequencies, minimums, and courses 299. Frequencies, courses, minimums. Know about the high terrain, and if I have to go around, I'll push toga once, go around flat 15, set ground first. Pause road, climb Europe 400 feet, LNAV, and climb runway heading to Mike Zulu 211, Mike Zulu 211, at about 5,000 feet, right turn to Mike Zulu 213, 215, back to T9. So, performance. Now, I'm actually going to use the real world OPT here, because I want to show you the brake cooling calculation, which unfortunately the ZIBO mod doesn't have. So there's a lovely long runway here, but we do need to backtrack. Very small apron with only 7 parking spaces. So runway 30, what I'm going to do, I'll load up the OPT and I'll show you what it says. Landing en route. So we're landing in Oscar Zulu, runway 30, dry. I'll put -3 for the wind, seeing it's light variable. Temperature is 41 degrees, QNH 1013. And we're going to use flat 40, and I'll just use no reverse credit to show you how much of an impact brake cooling has. So flat 40, and we're going to burn 1.2 tons of fuel, so landing weight 61.8. It's not super heavy. So let me just calculate this in the OPT. So you'll see here, let me just get this on so you guys can see it without seeing my ugly mug. So you should be able to see here the brake cooling calculations. This is based on no reverse thrust. So you can see here, look, for auto brake or caution, what's on the top there, caution? Yeah, max manual, you see the caution. Basically, if it's caution, your fuse plug's going to melt and you're going to pop your tyres. Auto brake 1 and 2, you see they're yellow. That's basically saying you're going to go off the end of the runway if you use 1 or 2. Auto brake 3 is 45 minutes of brake cooling. Okay, 45 minutes. So that's insufficient for a quick turnaround. Now, if I select all reverse thrust, this is how much of an impact reverse thrust has. So you can now see for auto brake 3, look, the brake cooling time is just 11 minutes. 11 minutes, okay? Max manual is no longer in the caution. It's still a long time, like 56 minutes, but you could in emergency use it. Max auto 42 minutes, auto brake 3, 11. 0 minutes for auto brake 1 and 2, but it's insufficient runway length. You can see on the OPT, look, if we select that, 1 and 2 takes us off the end of the runway. So it'll be auto brake 3, second detent reverse for 11 minutes brake cooling. And if you've got no reverse thrust, you're going to be sat on the ground for a long time waiting for those brakes to cool down. Perfect. Wow, look at this scenery here. Let's have a little look outside, pop on some music. We're all ready to go for descent. Lovely cruise today. If you are enjoying the stream, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. It helps out the channel an awful lot. We're up to something like 89,100 subscribers, so we're going to soon reach 90,000. And then we'll do a nice little charity stream for a good cause. I'm going to be very busy this month. I was saying to the members, a lot going on, and very busy at work as well. Look at this scenery. You have to say, ortho, when you get it all looking, it just looks very nice. Ratva 1 Alpha for ILS Yankee 30. Thank you, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. As we briefed, wonderful. Look at this beautiful, beautiful scene. Wilco Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Pull for descent, he said. Daniel, put the brake fans on immediately after landing. I'll need them. Smashing, look at this. I love, this is one of my favourite liveries. It's from Jordan, one of my members, made it a couple of years ago, I think. Yeah, X-Plane 12's looking good. Latest beta. Not some weird flickering I had a minute or two ago. Looking superb. Has. Oh, sorry. Yeah, amped up. Yeah, aero weather. That's the aero weather app for the density altitude. Mr. Forward, do airport personnel water the landing strip if it becomes too hot? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe they do. Maybe. I'd be surprised if they do. It'll just evaporate very, very quickly. But then maybe they do. I don't know. Yeah, look at that ortho there. Absolutely fantastic. The mod was on the takeoff roll there, though. I put a few extra units to trim nose down there, and it still wanted to come up around 5 knots below V1. But you could see the effects the density altitude that the heat was having. The ground speed was much higher than the indicated airspeed, and I think in the sim we had a little bit of a tailwind as well. It's got Grand Canyon vibes, hasn't it? The mountain range here. So 40 miles from top of descent. Gamer DR, I'm still having trouble with the brakes with no B pressure. Well, you have A pressure for alternate. Oh no, you still have the alternate brakes available. But I don't know if that's a sim issue you're having. Hi Sam, I hope you're doing well. Just got home, took off from Liverpool to Neeson Castle, 1500 base in front of me with rain. Winded a lot of bumps, not happy, turned around, came home. Right decision there, Sam Heaton. I remember years ago taking off from Fenland when I was doing my PAPL to go to Humberside for the day. And there was a huge bank of heavy rain showers ahead of me, thunderstorms were forecast, CBs, and I did consider sort of nestling my way through it. I just took one look and thought, no, I don't want to do that. And I went back as well. So it sounds like you had a similar thought process today. But yeah, it's so inclement, the weather. I've just been out to have lunch with my girlfriend, and the weather forecast was really nice all day. I asked Alexa any chances of rain, said no chances of rain. Came back home, and we just got caught out by a very heavy rain shower. We're like, oh, that wasn't even forecast. But yeah, the weather in July, I know the rest of Europe is melting, and the world, but it's been pants. It's been very cold. Someone told me in the last 100 years it's the 80th or the 80th hottest month out of the last 100 years or something.
In the tower at Ouarzazate, tried to contact them a few times and no response. Hello, yes, there is. Let me just call.
Look at that scenery.
No problem, we're here on the ground at the moment.
So remember how at 10,000 feet on the descent we do our sort of post-cruise checks, reconfigure the aircraft. We're going to do that a little higher today, because remember the elevation here, 3,800. So we're sort of going to configure everything at 14,000 feet. We'll start doing the post-cruise checks. 0321 Short, we're not melting in the 11s, we've been floated away by all the rain here. I guess, yeah, you've been caught in all these sort of low pressure systems coming in from the Atlantic. I know it's been quite windy in Holland as well. I just clicked 0321 Short. It was 0321 Short, ladies and gentlemen, who suggested this this destination, one of my members. A friend she was flying to Ouarzazate with Ryanair, so we'd repeat it. Hello, Pastor Escobar. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, go back over to tower now, thanks.
Perfect. Look at this scenery, wow. You can see where the mountain range ends. Superb. Hello MPC Clips, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for your membership. Glad you're enjoying the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the custom emojis and chat. Thank you very much for the support. Andrew, using auto ortho, no, just downloading it the old school way. Fine by me. Yes, that's right. Cheers. And now to base flight from Barcelona to Golf Mike Zulu. Very cool. Hello MCP Clips, long time viewer, totally love your content, keep it up, thank you very much. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Discord, and I must say to all the members, I'm very busy at the moment, but don't ever hesitate to tag me if you have any questions. Stop descent coming up, 6 miles, let's request descent.
1460, devant 340 degrés 16 nœuds, variation 320 020 degrés, IC 35 grades, autorisé décollage.
On a décollé 35 droits. Est-ce que vous avez des rafales?
Des rafales?
Est-ce que vous avez des rafales dans les vents?
So reset MCP altitude, that's basically the aircraft saying I want to descend, down VNAV profile here.
Ok, c'est bon, merci. On a décollé 35 droits, on va l'avoir, ça doit comprendre.
On a kilo tango, you'll leave my space to the north, point in Nicom, bye-bye.
Nicom, right, now, kilo tango, thanks, bye-bye.
Bye, rush 4 kilo alpha, you'll leave
Trying to
my
get in.
space to the north, point in Nicom, bye-bye.
38, Sarge 4 kilo alpha, see you, bye-bye.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, request descent.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, descent flight level 170.
Descent flight level 170, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So 170 checked, we're obviously a bit high on profile there, so a little late descent. So if I select VNAV, it should go to VNAV speed, ZIBO. Let's just watch this. We want VNAV speed here now, because we're high on profile. I'll let it know. It used to, this is the old lot. There we are, there we go. So now it's got to VNAV speed, good. So now the aircraft's pitching for this speed, no longer the path. And what you can do is simply open the speed window, accelerate to allow the aircraft to pitch down to re-intercept this path, and then when you're back on path you can close the speed window. Mo says your Discord is not linked in the description. My Discord is serves purely for members only, so it's not public. There's no public link available. It works with YouTube membership, synchronises automatically. If you are a member not in the Discord, head over to Google, search. I don't know why the order from disconnected. I think I'll split my thrust levers. Head over to Google and search for Discord YouTube synchronization. Oh, that was a little weird thing there. So still in VNAV speed. I was quite surprised it didn't bite into path there, but when it's back on path, it should transition to path automatically. So make sure this goes to path. Would have just, there we go. And then you want to close the window so it goes back to its planned descent speed. And you're obviously a little fast now. It should come up now, drag required in the FMC, which it hasn't done. Now you can monitor the speed. If you're under no speed control, going a few knots fast isn't too much of a problem. If you want to get back to your target speed, you can use speed brake. Otherwise, your planned VNAV path here is based off 273 knots. If you're going faster, there should be a little bit of extra drag, parasitic drag from the speed to help you slow down. It is actually sort of speeding up slowly, which you wouldn't usually expect, but we'll keep an eye on it. In fact, let's just use a bit of speed brake, just make sure it's not too effective. So we have had an issue with this in the past. Now, when you fly at a higher speed like this, speed brake is much more effective. This is pretty good. For 300 knots, this is the sort of rate of deceleration I would expect staying on the path here. And also I need to slow down, remember, at Rapva. The maximum speed was 250 knots anyway, so I'm just going a little bit faster, so good job I've got the speed brake out. Fly Sim Guy, I'm in the latest version of the ZIBO mod. I think ZIBO sent one literally 10 minutes before the start of the stream. 3.4b, and he did send C. I think it was just some minor bug fixes. Reducing 250 knots, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, thank you, 250 is correct.
Perfect, so he was checking the speed because there are speed restrictions here.
1 Foxtrot Echo, this is on discretion to 9,200 feet, QNH 1013.
And send 9,200 feet QNH 1013, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So what we'll do, we'll descend with the profile, so 12,000 feet's the next one. and this is what we do at my operator. Some airlines, I'm led to believe, set the minimum altitude straight away, but we step down as per the profile. So 9,200, 1 mile to go, so we'll do that once we're 1 mile before MZ215. 1013 is set, passing, just don't speed break now, passing 16,900 for 12,000 feet, and the standby altimeter is set. Yeah, the drag model's pretty perfect now with the speed brake, and now I've stowed it, look, it's holding 250 knots quite nicely. So far so good with VNAV, looking good. Ouarzazate is down there somewhere. The Ouarzazate default X-Plane 12 airport hadn't been updated in the gateway. No, it has been, but it's not the latest public version, so I headed over to the gateway prior to this stream, downloaded it, and it's now matching the airport perfectly. Information about that is in the video description below. Aviation Blaze, isn't there a little dot or something next to the altitude tape that shows the path? Is that Airbus? I'm not sure what the dot, what dot you're referring to. There we are. We can now descend to 9,200. And look at this, VNAV, absolutely spot on here. Looking really good. 230 knots, Soundpacker 1 Foxtrot Echo. So you can open the speed window, and what I'm going to do, because I want to stay close to my vertical VNAV profile, I'll bug 230 and extend the speed brake to bring the speed back. And whilst I'm doing that, I can update the speed to 230 knots in the descent, overwriting the background there, execute, rebuild the profile for 230 knots. There you go, it's only a slight change. And what I can do is it pitches up to get back onto path, is stow that speed brake again. There we are, so we're back on the profile, and this vertical profile is now based off 230. And this is the best VNAV on any add-on I know. Freeware, payware, this is a proper idle path descent. No witchcraft going on. Just keep an eye on that speed, make sure it doesn't go too fast. Remember, we're going to do all our checks now. Look, we're 10,000 feet above the aerodrome, so fuel 4 pumps, lights, and load goes off. The angular bank is set to 25 degrees, pressurization 4.0, start cooling it down as it is, 41 on the ground, set, whoops, that should be on already, recool, checks complete. So next speed restriction is TIDMO, 210 knots. Yeah, the last PMDG stream, it's a great add-on, but the roll is really jerky at the moment in LNAV and heading select. Something's definitely wrong there, and VNAV. VNAV's doing something really weird on the last phase of descent. It's never been proper anyway. I am biased. I think, you know, I'm always honest with issues with the mod and what other aircraft I've seen, but they need to do something with the VNAV and LNAV at the moment. With the autopilot, I think, overall. Because this is flying beautifully, really nicely.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, speed is at your discretion.
Free speed, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So, because we're on path, we're on target speed, just let VNAV do its thing. We'll have a look here. You can see we're about to go onto the ILS transition, so I'll select the approach here for you. And we want the ILS 275 on new. Oh no, that's Fez. Helps if I select the right airport. ILS Yankee. So max 210 knots at TIDMO, and we're approaching the decel point for that on the ND. Let's get on the ground first, but this is very close to how the mod was handling in X-Plane 11. Is your Fly with Lure working with the beta? Yeah, I believe so, M3 Tally. My BT volume control's definitely working. And I got a butter score on my landing earlier, so, and that's all working with Fly with Lure. So there's the decel. Look at the mod now should be slowing down. Oh no, that's completely my fault because the speed window was open. Completely my fault. There you go. There's the decel for 210. I was about to criticise the mod, but it's my me forgetting to set a lower speed. Got the speed brake out to help out. So 210 knots is being commanded, and now I think it's actually commanded the up speeds because it's actually gone to 208. Saying 210 or below. Showing 210 at Tidmo. Keep an eye on that. Just stow the speed brake now. A bit of noise from my speed brake. Oh, look at this scenery. It's so good. CM7375 for trying to carry gold buds from Ireland. I think once, a long, long time ago as a kid. So, as I was saying, remember it's very hot. We've got a tailwind here as well, so I'm going to select flap 1. And just to sort of show you, look at the fact there's no wind here. Look at our indicated airspeed, 210. Look at our true airspeed. It's 45 knots quicker, and that is because of the dead sea altitude. Our dead sea altitude here is going to be like 15,000 feet. Cleared ILS Yankee 30, thank you, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So we can now step down to 7,800, flap 5, and the aircraft's behaving as it would. It's very hot and we're a little bit high, and VNAV should be putting us high on the glide slope, and that is huge credit to X-Plane 12 and Laminar Research for an extremely accurate density altitude modelling. This has been absolute precision from the ZIBO mod. I cannot tell the difference right now from the real aircraft and the mod today. It is absolutely superb, and I mean that. Absolutely perfect. On path, it's actually look, it's put me a little bit high here. Get me back on path, ZIBO. Come on. But you can see it's put me a little bit high, and that's what I'd expect with it being 40 degrees outside. This is flashing to tell me the order throttle. I'm doing my best here, but I can't get you on, and it's put me high as I'd expect. Go ahead.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, are you able to maintain 180 until 6 at this altitude?
A firm Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, 180 knots till 60, I mean.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Perfect. So use a bit of speed brake here, and you can see I'm 1 dot high. That is just because of the heat and VNAV. Very, very accurate. We're going to step down now because with localizer capture we can actually go all the way down to the elevator. Level change, 6,500. And what I'm going to do is go speed brake. Smash from my heading. I'm just going to bug 200 knots now just to get the speed down. We're going to go onto the glide slope here. Very hard to get onto a glide slope with this excess heat and energy. So you want to configure now. When your localizer capture, we've got a procedure to set this plus 1,000, so 4,800, and you then bug flap 5 plus 10 knots, so it's a little bit excessive from me. I can now arm approach with being within 1 dot, and I've got the speed brake extended. Glide slope capture, and the missed approach altitude is...
Mark 44, reduce 7 by 5.
Let's do 180 here. Just going to go flap 10. And we'll ditch speed brake. I'm just trying to find the missed approach altitude. I just don't find them on Navigraph charts very clear. It is 8,200 feet. 118.1, thanks to the ATC, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, bye. And you can see here, flap 10, and it's barely holding the speed. That is so accurate. So accurate with these conditions. Tower 181.
2,500.
Might have to drop the gear here. 8 miles, because look at my ground speed, 222 knots. I'm going to drop the gear, guys. This is what I'd be doing in real life. We're approaching 6 miles, so I'm going to start slowing down. And Ouarzazate Tower, hello Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, established ILS Yankee 307 miles.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, hello.
Thanks, Mac.
Continue approach and reduce minimum approach speed on number 2.
Minimum approach speed, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Uh-oh. Flap 15. Flap 25. Flap 30. It's going to be tight because he's got to backtrack. I think we're going around here. 162, flap 40. And checklist.
Landing checklist. Start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Checked.
Speed brake.
Armed green light.
Landing gear.
Down 3
it's
greens.
Working today.
Auto brake.
Auto brake 3 set.
Flaps.
Flaps 40 set. Green light.
Landing lights.
On.
Speed,
Landing checklist complete.
Auto throttle, come on auto throttle. Disconnect the auto throttle, so I don't want the speed getting too low here. I think the auto throttle's just struggling with this density altitude here and this drag. So there you go, look at this, indicated airspeed, 140 knots. Ground speed 159. There's an extra 20 knots here because of the density altitude. Big difference here. And that's why it's so important to manage your speed here. Use flat 40 because there's a lot of... your density altitude is so high because of the altitude and heat. Look, it's 39 degrees on the TAT. That is absolute perfection modelling. Disconnecting the autothrottle here because the autothrottle's a bit slow to respond in the mod. Could be going around here anyway.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch altitude set.
Yeah, we're going around, guys.
Alpha 5, Lima, India, vacate via Charlie.
Good to try the mod out anyway. Missed approach altitude 8,200 feet set. Ooh, struggling. The autopilot's struggling here. Disconnecting autopilot. Sorry, yoke cam for you. I think the autopilot speed, the autopilot's struggling with the density altitude on the ILS. Whoa, got a bit. Whoa, come on. 1,000 feet, I'm high. I'm going to destabilise myself here.
500.
About to go around.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, I'm sorry, go around and follow the missed approach.
Going around Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Toga, go around flat 15.
Contact Casablanca Center 126.5.
Take ground for us. 126.5 Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Pause right climb. Gear, not in the sim. Gear up.
Tower, Transauto.
Because of the density altitude, I'm going to use full go around thrust here, which is the green bug.
01 Bravo Foxtrot, and hold short at Charlie.
So full go around thrust is the green bar. Usually you would do reduced, but because of the density altitude, I just want to go around. 40 feet L now.
Hold short of Bravo, Transauto 1 Bravo Fox.
Flat 5. And the bug is fixed based on your maximum takeoff weight. So flat 5. Oh, was it on 184 knots? It should be 182. I'm sorry, it's only 2 knots, but it should be 182. And there's flat 5 bug, flap 1. There goes the bug. And I've just realised something. I'm going to go back to flap 5. The reason is it's 182 knots for that turn. Max speed 182. So we're going to hold flat 5. I know I need to contact departures, but just to show you here. Why is that not opening up for you guys? You guys seeing Navigraph? No. My Navigraph's not showing up. I don't know why. But yeah, the missed approach is straight ahead MZ 211. Maximum 185 knots for this first turn. So we hold it at flat 5 until the missed approach altitude. And radar, hello again. It's Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. It's missed approach from wave 30.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, Casablanca again. Ready contact. Climb to 9,200 feet. QNH 1013 and follow the missed approach procedure. 9,200, standard missed approach, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So 9,200. So usually I'd be at reduced ground thrust, but because of the density altitude here, you just want to maintain full ground thrust there. The mod's been pretty much, again, spot on there. On final, I got a little bit destabilised. I think the mod is struggling though with the density altitude there. 9,200, or did you say 9,300? I think it's 9,200. That is Tidmo's height there. 9,200. So we're going to wait until outer choir. When we get outer choir, the speed window opens, and it's now max 210 knots. So wait for the speed window. Outer choir, the speed window opens. So you can't do anything about the speed at the moment on the go around. So as soon as that speed window opens at outer choir, we're going to bug 210 knots, which is the speed restriction. Outer choir, speed window opens. 210 knots, which is the speed restriction. We can now select flap 1. Why has that gone yellow? I still want to be on QNH 1013. And flaps up. I'm quite happy with how I flew that missed approach. Look at the fuel though, only 2.6 tons. Let's get that trimmed for 210 knots speed. Right, and trim and speed looking good. So autopilot command A, auto throttles in, MCP speed, lovely. We can now do the after takeoff checklist. Oh, hello Navigraph. Oh, that's why I know why Navigraph didn't turn up, because I don't have it as, on yoke cam. Right, gear off, auto brake set to 3, disarm the speed brake, clicky clicky clicky. Get rid of that 1013. Let me just trick this. Forecast. Oh, 110. That's very weird. You can expect bien le 5 qui est rendez-vous 30 and proceed now direct Tidmo. direct TIDMO for 30 Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. So we need to reselect the approach. So approach, ILS Yankee 30, TIDMO, execute, legs page, TIDMO to the top, execute, LNAV available, LNAV's engaged, and we'll just update the cruise. Oh, it's already set to 9.2. Did that do that automatically? Not so sure. Anyway, we've got a new top of descent point. Why that's yellow, I don't know. It should be fine. I don't know why it's yellow. After takeoff checklist, air conditioning pressurization 2.5. The cabin ouch is very high, but that's because it's about to land. That's okay. Set. Check's complete. So, review. Always check your fuel. Remember, we took standard fuel, like 2.6 tons. We now need to decide if we want to land or commit. Land and commit to Ouarzazate or divert, because we're on our final reserves here. Almost. Okay, so it's 2.2 to divert to. I think it was Casablanca. No, Marrakesh. Sorry. So just to show you here on the flight plan. There we are, so 2.2 tons to divert to Marrakesh. We've got 2.6, so we've got about 10 minutes before we decide what to do. So I'm happy to commit our alternate fuel to land at Ouarzazate. The weather's perfect, we had to go around there because of spacing from ATC, not a problem. There's nothing that's going to prevent us from landing if the runway gets blocked. So we still have enough to still decide to divert safely, but once we do one approach and commit on a go around, I have to commit then to because I won't have enough fuel to divert.
QNH is now 1012. QNH 1012.
1012 Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. But yeah, the go around was good. The aircraft handling, the autopilot was a bit sloppy. Now actually ZIBO told me just prior to stream though, I'd already fixed. Already had X-Plane 12 up and running, but ZIBO did advise me that release, this was 20 minutes before the stream, 3.4 was actually to fine-tune the autopilot for turbulent weather and fine-tune adjustments, so it could be a little issue there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the go-around. It's looking very, very nice. The behaviour was very good. The only thing I forgot to do was on the climb out. There's a max 185 knots, so I continued retracting the flaps, and I had to go back to flap 5. The only way to control the speed bug on a missed approach in Toga is by the flap lever position. The flap lever position dictates the speed based off your maximum takeoff weight. So flap 5 gives you 182 knots. It gave me 184 in the mod for some reason. Anyway, we're all good. We've assessed the fuel. This says we're going to land with 1.8. We're not going to burn. We're going to burn less fuel than that by the time we land. Burning right now. Yeah, 1.6 an hour. This reckons we're going to burn 800 kilos before landing. Well, we're going to be on the ground in not 30 minutes. So this is calculation. Whatever it's doing to calculate this burn, 800 kilos in this space of time, it's too much. That we got landing fuel is going to be about 2.3. 2.3, I'd say. Good. PA to explain what the go around was for, and go from there. Daniel, that's not your fault at all if that was you that landed ahead. It was just spacing from ATC. In fact, the approach controller told me to keep the speed up. 180 knots, still 6. So I don't know where that came from. Probably because someone was behind me. Anyway, we're in a good position for another approach. And we can enjoy that stunning scenery a little longer. Where's the airport, actually? Just behind us. Can't crank my head quite far around. Well, where is it? It's down there somewhere. Absolutely stunning scenery. And I'm 55-ish FPS. Looking great.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo from TIDMO cleared ILS Yankee runway 30 and report at Mike Zulu 304.
Cleared, ILS Yankee 30 will report Mike Zulu 304, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. That's quite normal, because technically there's no radar here, so everything's based off procedural approaches and position reports.
Casablanca radar, good evening, Transauto 1 Bravo Foxtrot.
Stunning.
Climbing through altitude, 4,800 for flight level 320.
From Tidmo, sorry. Copenhagen vibes. Right, anyway. From Tidmo, 9,200, we can step down to 7,800, max 210. And you You can see the top of descent points based off 9,200. It's actually the VNAV, apart from this being amber, I don't know why that is. Maybe so you can go on the missed approach and go around and tripped it. The VNAV and profiles actually done a cracking job here. I have to say, X-Plane 12's looking beautiful, handling well. Look at this scenery. The Bing maps have improved a lot in the last few years. They've got rid of so many of the clouds. The textures are so crisp. Steve M, it's down there somewhere as he realises the PA's still on. Unbelievable. So we're going to configure again nice and early. Remember that density altitude today is really something you need to watch out for. And one of the things I wanted to point out actually, remember our ground speed was very high, 160 knots. Look at the rate of descent required to stay on the 3-degree glide path. It's 900 feet per minute almost. So if you end up getting high like I did, you haven't got much room left to get back onto the glide slope. You will have to set 1,000 feet, usually the limit at the gate. You can have it higher as long as you brief it, but I'll try and stay on the glide for as long as possible. Don't get high. Right, selecting flap 1. Fuel is 2.5. You can see that's gone up now. I'm not sure where this estimated arrival fuel is coming from. It's 1.6 at one point. It's gone up to 2, and I said it'll be around 2.2, 2.3, which is our alternate. So we took standard fuel, that little bit of extra fuel plus contingency we've used on the go around. And flap 5. That'll be reset MCP altitude, that is accurate, so we can step down 1 mile before to 7,800, well, we're already past it, so 7,800 VNAV speed intervents. No speed control here, so we can slow down nice and early. Oh, why are we not descending? Where's my V? What's happened to my path? I'm not sure. I'm going to go to vertical speed. My top of descent point's quite late.
Radar, Transoto 1 Bravo Fox. We're going to be a little close to those mountains. Can we turn left to a heading around 015?
I'm not sure what happened to my path there.
Also to 1 Bravo Foxtrot, you're heading 105.
Alright, correct sensing, I'm in forelock.
Did you say route 2, 105 over past 015, but I can also do the road turn. Right, 015 is approved. I think it's going to be left on.
Beautiful. Ian, thanks for 32 months. If you had to go around in real life due to control error, does the airline get compensated? No. Great question though, thank you. Vehicle membership for so long, 32 months as well. Cheers, buddy. No, won't get compensated. These things happen from time to time, we're all human. And I can tell you now, my operator has a zero blame policy for going around. You will never ever get penalised for going around. They actively encourage it. Right, correct sensing on glide approach. Glide slope capture, missed approach altitude, 9,200 feet is 8,200 feet, sorry, set. Already at flap 10, which is what we want. And look at, once everything gets stabilised here, you can see, look again, look, I'm on glide, look how VNAV's showing me low, but that is the heat. That is the heat and the density altitude being so high. Also, there was another membership ping I think I missed in that very busy period. I don't know if you're still watching. MacFF D09, 27 months. Haven't been able to watch you for long while due to life, but glad I'm able to catch you live once again. Love your content. Glad I can support you. Thank you very much, buddy. And sorry I missed that. I think I was in a very high workload phase there. Oops, I was meant to call. Passing that point now. Look at the rate of descent required here, 1,100 feet. Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Sorry, we just passed Mike Zulu 304.
Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, no problems at all. Contact tower, 118.1. Thank you for coming over.
118.1, see you again soon. Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo, bye. Excellent. How's the runway looking now? Good. No aeroplanes. If an airline goes around, does the controller get compensated for the paperwork? Love it, I identified. I forgot you have as much paperwork to do as we do. Tower hello again, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Established ILS Yankee 30 at 10 miles. Thank you. 30 cleared to land, Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Thank you very much, I forgot to press the button. Thank you very much, Cyprian.
I started following you 3 years ago while on ATPL training.
Wow.
Today, I am 1k hours for on the 738.
Amazing.
Thank you for your inspiration.
Cheers, Cyprian. Thank you very much for your donation there. Very kind of you. That makes me feel great. You're not the only person that's started watching my videos at some point and then now happens to be flying on an Airbus or a 737, even some colleagues of mine. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for your donation. I'm very happy that my videos inspired you to do something I love doing and now you love doing for a living too. Thanks, buddy. Amazing. Right, look at this. Establish on the glide, and look what we're having to do. Ground speed 188 knots. We're having to do 1,000 feet per minute down the glide path. That is nothing I can do. That's the density altitude. You'll also see that we'll slowly creep back onto the VNAV profile because the temperature error decreases as you get closer to the altimetry source, which is obviously the airport elevation. So the modelling of the heat, everything here is excellent. Right, we're going to configure a bit early because look at our ground speed here because of the density altitude, 185 knots. So gear down, flap 15, match speed. Oops, don't start the engine. Recall, speed brake. Green light and flap 25. Below 162, flap 40.
Alpaca 1 Tango, go ahead.
Landing checklist. Start
again.
switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Check.
Speed brake.
Not again.
Oh, it's doing its. I'm gonna. Yeah, I think sometimes it just when it's armed, it's not happy. It worked perfectly first time, but I think going around sometimes upsets it. Speed brakes on, green light. Landing gear down 3 green. Order brakes set to 3. Flaps 40. 40 green light. Lights are on. Checks complete. And you can see here. No, doing 550. No, we need to be doing a bit more than that. We're going to get high on the glide, ZIBO. Let's just watch that automation. Pitch down, pitch down, pitch down. In real life, the aircraft follows the glide slope like a donkey follows a carrot on a stick. It's really quite aggressive as well in that. So it's being a little sloppy, a little bit lazy. See, it's just oscillating on the glide slope slightly. This could be, as I've mentioned already, to do with the density altitude. I'm not so sure. Let's see if I can do it any better. I doubt it. Disconnecting auto throttle, disconnecting autopilot. I'm going to sort of look through the flight directors, keep the runway in the same place in the screen. You'll need a lot more thrust with this density altitude as well. It's usually around 62%. N1, we're having to maintain around 68-69% here just to keep our target speed. That is completely accurate for the elevation and heat experienced here at Ouarzazate today. Nice little headwind, already cleared to land. 2 reds, 2 whites, checked. Need to do about 1,000 feet per minute here to stay on the glide. Getting a little low, pitch up slightly.
300.
And now keep descending. Continue.
200.
Don't chase the glide, just look outside. Speed's good. Glide slope slightly off there. I'm on 3 whites, I think.
50. 40.
Check.
30.
Close.
20.
Hold the
10.
attitude. A bit firm, but right on the aiming point. Speed brakes up, reverses. Don't smash on the brakes. Remember the brake cooling. And the reversers do all the work, especially at higher speeds here. Max reverse have gone for manual braking.
80 knots.
So the brakes are no longer absorbing any energy. We'll just use the reversers. Start braking a bit more manually. 60 knots, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ouarzazate. A bit firm, but that's exactly where you want to land every single day of the week. Speed brake stowed, and welcome to Ouarzazate. We'll do a 180 and backtrack. Oh, someone's changing my wheels. Fantastic. Firm but no bounce, all good. Yeah, I mean, it was textbook. I'm not gonna, I'm a modest man, as you well know. It was textbook. That's how you should do it every day of the week. Anyway, retract the flaps. We'll backtrack here, just to show you on Navigraph.
Welcome to Ouarzazate. Vacate runway via Bravo on taxi to stand 5.
Bravo, stand 5. Alpaca 1 Foxtrot Echo. Thank you very much, the ATC, sir. Perfect. So Bravo. That is the first right for Bravo, and this is one of the gateway airports. The stock scenery, as usual in X-Plane, is wonderful. This isn't actually available in X-Plane 12's latest update, but if you just go to the gateway, you can download it. It's completely free, of course, and it looks absolutely stunning. 40 degrees here in Ouarzazate. My Moroccan isn't that great, and we're going to do the return sector to Fez as well. A little longer stream now than planned because of the go around, but it's good to practice. The mod it's pretty good. I think the autopilot's a little bit wobbly. I think that's probably more to do with the elevation. We'll have a look again in Fez. It's still quite hot there, but it's a lot lower. But it was sort of oscillating a little bit on the glide slope on the first and second approach, just at the latter stages there. Right, there we are. Stand 5. Looks like it's sort of self-positioning stands. We'll have a look when we get a bit closer. Not very good taxiing here. Right, let's do the clean-up. Trims 4 units already. Put on our lovely taxi music. Oh, taxiing very poorly. Strobes can now come off. Get that APU up and running. Probing can come off. Ah, yeah, it's self-positioning stands here. Okay. So stand 5 is slightly... I mean, the charts would suggest otherwise, but I'm going to actually go off the guidance here. I think this is stand 5. Weather radar off, just testing you. Well done there, Short. You're the only one to have spotted it. I forgot. No, I didn't. Perfect. So, when you self-position, look for this arrow. It's usually where you want to commence your turn. Have a marshaller as well. And make sure you're idle on the inside, and then you have plenty of thrust. Don't park your GPU there, sir. No! Why is default ground traffic parking in rubbish places all the time? Swing it round now. This is where marshal's very helpful. So I've got idle thrust on the inboard engine. Oh, imagine doing this in the PMDG. I think that'll do. Maybe I've overshot that slightly. I've gone past it slightly, but that'll do okay. Right, parking brake set. AP is available on bus. 2 blues. Parking brake set. Engine's dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ouarzazate, Morocco. Local time. Actually, what is the time here? Is it the same as UK? I'm not so sure. It's around 5-6 o'clock. Oh, not bad. Slightly off the line. If I just turned right for a little bit longer, I would have nailed it. Not bad at all. Excellent. Check that the N2 is below 20% on engine 1 and 2. There we go. Anti-collision light can come up. AP bleed on. Open the isolation valve. Oh yeah, we might as well do the transit shutdown checklist. Where are you?
Shutdown checklist. Electrical.
EPU on the bus.
Fasten belts.
This.
Sorry, passengers.
Off.
Probe heat.
Off.
Take 1746. Same as
Off.
UK.
Voice recorders.
Minus 100 points.
Again.
Oops, yeah.
On.
Air conditioning packs.
Auto.
Engine bleed.
On.
APU bleed.
Damn.
I actually want that on
Off.
the air.
Exterior lights.
Not again.
That's fine. Steady.
Checked.
Start switches.
Off.
Auto brake.
Off.
Speed brake.
Down D10.
Flaps.
Up. No lights.
Parking brake.
Set.
Start levers.
Cut off.
So far,
Weather
so
radar.
good.
Off.
Transponder.
2000 standby. There you go.
Stand by.
CVR circuit breaker.
In.
Cockpit door.
Unlocked.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Excellent. We can now start disembarking. I'm not going to get the door open and the stairs because I'd like to do a replay. Don't forget to turn off the lights as well. Yeah, 9 out of 10 really for that flight. The modern X-Plane 12. Really, really nice. Great first sector as well. Very happy with how everything's performing. We'll do a little replay, see how that looked. Very happy with that landing. But the density, altitude, the high temperature, the hot weather operations, and the elevation here was really apparent in how the aircraft handled, in the performance slowing down, the rate of descent required because of the higher ground speed. It was spot on. So good. So good. Look at some of the things here on chat. A bit of banter with that landing, a bit firm, I suppose. Some people recognise the nailed it points. That's good to see. Matt Costa, one stream I've been on in a while where I'm not with the boga crowd. No, I'm not bogering. I already did a go around today. Right. Anyway, let's hop off the network. And then we'll do a little replay and see how things were. I'll try and do this as flawlessly as possible. Let me get my replay music up and ready. And if I press that and then that, oh, flawless! No issue whatsoever. Right, let's see if this crashes X-Plane first. Replays in multiple sectors. Ooh, so far so good. Excellent. And so we talked about that rate of descent that was required on the approach there because of the heat and the altitude here. Very apparent. So nice. Bit firm, but yeah, literally spot on where you want to touch down every day of the week. A bit lumpy and bumpy this runway. Yeah, camera's right where I want to touch down. Yeah, superb. Yeah, the mod's up to where it was at X-Plane 11 now. Took some time, but it's there. Let's have a look from the tower. Ah! Or maybe not, guys, I'm afraid. I seem to be spawned into it. No. Oh well, right. Because we're doing 2 flights, I'll go straight into the replay of the wing here. So I get everything set up for the second return sector to Fez. If you'd like to join me on that, feel free to do so. We've got loads of stands here, I think it's like 6 or 7 stands. And I'll see you there. But if not, I hope you enjoyed the show so far. If you are enjoying it, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to David's latest content. Enjoy the landing replay, and I'll be back after that for around 10 minutes or so. Let's say 6 o'clock local time. We'll get things kicked off in the second half. Hope you're enjoying it so far. See you shortly. Bye-bye. Hello, thank you very much for that intermission. I've just done the walk around, no damage. It's very, very hot out there in Ouarzazate, 40 degrees, and getting everything all pretty much ready for the second sector. Logged back on VATSIM, just get Fly Live up and running as well. I was just looking at the chat whilst I was away. Someone talked about performance. How is performance going to affect us on departure? Good job I checked my OPT. Because of the density, altitude and heat here, it's quite restrictive. We can just about get 180 passengers on without having to do bleeds off, but we've had to use an option in the OPT called Improved Extended Climb, which has increased the amount of weight that I can use for departure. Now, there's no issue with the runway length. It's to do with the performance in the event of an engine failure after V1. So what I've done in the OPT, it's quite hard to sort of describe what we need to do without showing the OPT. Unfortunately, I don't have any screenshots, but there's an option called Improved Climb, and what this does, it raises the height of the MFRA and changes your V-speeds to ensure that in the event of an engine failure, you've got sufficient performance that initial climb. So essentially, it raises the MFRA and increases the V2 climb speed slightly. But yeah, we should be good to go. It'll be interesting to see how this transpires to a takeoff in X-plane. Just to show you sort of performance limitations we're looking at here, I'm just going to show you the OPT. You might be able to see here right at the bottom, look, see those three lines, look how close they are to the end of the runway. So I can't see without looking there, but you can see your accelerate, stop distance, takeoff, run available. It's quite close to the end there. So if the engine does fail at V1 and we take off, we're only going to clear the end of the runway, well, by at least 50 feet, but we'll probably be looking at that picture around 100 feet or so. So we're using all of it there. Bleeds off would be very uncomfortable in these conditions. It would be, you've got the APU providing conditioned air, but this is with bleeds on, so you know we have got more performance available. We can even assume slightly if we want to, but we're going to go full 26k. This should be sufficient, but we're going to use all of this runway, this 3,000 meter runway, to get airborne today, and that's why it's so important to have improved performance there. Does improved extended climb come at a cost? I'm not so sure what the penalty is fuel-wise. I was even looking at flap 1. Flap 1 is slightly better as well. There's no limitation, it's just an option we use if we need extra performance in the OPT. Penalty-wise, higher V-speed, I don't think there really is much more there. If you have a shorter runway, I think it could be an option because, as I said, your V-speeds increase slightly. Yeah, it's not used by default. We use it when we need improved climb performance. Excuse me as I have some water. So yeah, we've logged back on. We'll get everything set up for the return sector. Tower is still online, I think. What's the code? Golf Mike 0, they are. So we'll get the ATIS. Well, no, there's no ATIS. We'll get the clearance shortly. So the MFRA from the OPT with improved climb here is giving me quite high, 5,438 feet. So it has raised it by about 800 feet or so. And that is this option for improved climb. I don't know if it was much lower without it. I didn't check before, but I think that's quite higher than a lot higher than it usually be. So 5438 is the new MFRA with the improved climate option. So 5438 based off the external conditions. And oh yeah, we'll just start boarding again. We're going to need to get some fuel as well. Oh, I've completely forgot about this. Landing rate. What? Very bad. Oh, why does it do this? 0 to 0. Ah, excellent landing rate, but my approach was very bad. Oh, what? How do I check this again? Gear not down below 1,000 feet. Well, that was the go around. High rate of descent below 500 feet. Yes, I think at one point it was. Right, high rate of descent below 1,000 feet. High glide slope deviation. That was you. That was your autopilot. High glide slope deviation again. Autopilot, and maybe the go around. Not set landing flat below 500 feet. That was the go around. It's the go around. It's the go around. I'm sorry. Where are you going to uninstall ZIBO now? Yes. If you just watch the stream, ignore this and take a screenshot of this. Quickly get off this page. Excuse me. Here's the operational flight plan for OFB number 2. 5.2. We'll take standard fuel again. 5.3. We landed with 2,300 kilos at the end, which is fine. With the go around we did. Wait, is that passengers? I'm not so sure. Fuel, no, 5,300. It's fuel. Ah. We'll take 180 passengers back with us. And call for the fuel truck.
connected and starting refueling.
And we'll restart the fly leg. There we are. Latest weather we know it's horrible and hot and sticky. MFA set. Let's load up the operational flight plan. So I've not restarted the sim. It's exactly where we left it. Usually explains quite good. It's ramming home multiple sectors. Golf Mike Zulu. And go to the route page. Routing now back to Fez. Golf Mike Foxtrot. That is in. Call sign is Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. Departure, runway 30. Again, no SIDS out of here. For runway 30, the guidance I've read is climb straight ahead, runway heading to 8 miles, and then turn en route. That's what we need to do. So runway 30 for now, and the waypoint takes us to Tokuma. Then from Tokuma, up at Victor 203 to Fez. It's the procedural approach, so Fez, ILS-27, Fez transition. No radar there either. Activate, execute, we've got Tokuma, no discontinuities onto the procedural approach. Looking good. 0 fuel weights in, 59.4. Reserves for our alternate is now Casablanca. 2.8 tons needed to go there. Cost index 30. Cruising a little higher on the way back, 26,000 feet. That's executed. We can set 26,000 feet. Elevation, a lot lower now. Fez is, we're still high, but lower than here. 1,900 feet is set. And you can see, look, the cabin altitude is reflective of the present altitude. Look at 4,000 feet there. That's all looking good. Top climb wind, almost the same as the average. So 312 at 11. Top climb ISA 13. Execute. So the performance is full 26k at 98.9, 99.1. It's within 0.2 of the real OPT. That'll do. Higher than what the OPT says, which is good. Flap 5, CG 16.1. So this is where we've got a slight difference in the speed. So a little bit higher than the real OPT, and this will be presumably improved climb. So 140, 140, and 148. And this will be to do with the improved climb performance required compared to the stock speeds to ensure that we have sufficient performance in the event of an engine failure. Lima 3 hours, ZIBO for a refund. Will do. Cheers, buddy. 37 months. Sim737 pilot. Guys, ZIBO's, it's not ZIBO's fault. Absolutely is ZIBO's fault. But inaccurate grading. The approach triggers don't understand go around. Yes, that's what I think it is. That's my excuse anyway. 148 knots set, perfect. So we've got the AP bleed on with lovely cool air coming in, which we need. It's 40 degrees outside. How's the fuel coming along? Nearly there. We've got 4.8, we're needing 5.3. So we'll leave the seatbelt sign off for now. That's all configured, and that's configured too. Runway heading courses, we might as well leave it exactly the same. It's no SID, we'll just leave it set with the ILS tuned. Auto brake to RTO. Reset the fuel flow. FMC's all set. The trim is 6 units. Again, as discussed, I think there's a slight issue with the trim settings here. I'm just going to set about half a unit less, just to stop that nose coming up during the takeoff roll. It sort of had an issue with that a few months back. It was fixed. Looks like it's creaked back in again. 0321 short. What source for off? I always use Bing.
Deck fuel is all loaded up, and you are good to go.
In my opinion, the Bing maps have improved significantly. In my opinion. Right, so we'll get the clearance in a second. I'll just do the before start checks to the line transit now.
Before start checklist to the line.
Taxi in the
Gear pins.
Removed.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Yaw damper.
On.
Fuel.
So for the second sector, 5183 required. We've got 5.3 on board, and we should have...
Checked.
Fuel pumps.
4 on.
4 pumps on.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto, bleeds on.
Got an Alpaca
Pressurization.
Airbus. I think that's it there. Perfect. Pressurization, we've got PAX auto, bleeds on, 260 elevation.
Set.
Perfect.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross-checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Radios, radar and transponder.
Set and standby. Just need to get the clearance.
Set and standby.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Takeoff briefing.
That's done.
PA.
Already done one today.
FMC CDU.
Not doing it again. Is
set
N1 and IAS bugs.
N1 and IAS auto, V-speed set.
So 26k set.
Set.
Performance, weight and balance.
Checked.
EFB.
Airplane mode and stowed.
Phones.
Off.
Flight deck windows and cockpit door.
Closed.
Doors.
Coming.
Not again.
So I imagine boarding's complete. Where are you? Doors. No! Not that page. Retract the air stairs. Once the air stairs are retracted, you can close the door. I hope. Just had a red exclamation mark on there. We're getting it done.
Welcome.
Closed.
Passengers.
Seated.
Before start checklist completed to the line.
Perfect, that's all done. We'll go ahead and get our clearance. Oh, I just realised, my stream settings for Streamlabs, when people subscribe, it's meant to ping up in the chat. It's not doing it at the moment. I'll do it later, but sometimes it logs out itself. Just before I get clearance and engine starts, Chase B said, hello, got a question. So when I fly the ZIBO, get above 10,000, I get cabin pressure warning, and I think I have everything set up right. Could you tell me why it would be? Well, Chase B, I've not had any problems myself. I double check the configuration, make sure your bleeds are on, your packs are in auto, AP bleed is off, isolation valve auto. That's set correctly as well, and that's in auto, and it should be pressurizing fine. I've not seen any issues my side, so just double check your configuration there. Yeah, see points about, the Bing maps in Ortho have improved so much last few years. Maybe it's to do with Microsoft Flight Simulator and the fact they're using it. But I very rarely see clouds now for most parts of the world. How do you feel about the 3M and 787 touchscreen CDUs? I think we're getting some, the new Max 10, isn't it, getting them? Boeing is the primary question as you're certed on one. Yeah, I think it's a future. Touchscreens, I think they look a bit funky at the moment. I like the tactile feel of the buttons, but we'll see when they come out. I'm sure they'll be fine. Right, let's get the clearance. Tower, hello, Alpaca 2, Mike, Zulu, stand 5, departure clearance back to Fez, please.
Alpaca 2, Mike, Zulu, welcome back. Setup is approved, clear to your destination, Fez. For departure, expect runway 30, climb flight level 280, and after departure, maintain runway heading. Squawk 3673.
Cleared to Fez, runway 30 for departure, we'll climb flight level 280, maintain runway heading after departure, squawk 3673, Alpaca 2, my Zulu.
Alpaca 2, Mike Zulu, confirm squawk 3652.
3652, Alpaca 2, Mike Zulu. I thought you said 73.
Alpaca 2, Mike Zulu, raceback is correct. Report ready for taxi.
Thank you, start approval, call for taxi, Alpaca 2, Mike Zulu. Perfect, so 280 is a little higher than our cruise, but we can go all the way up there. 280.
Tower Alpaca 11 Tango,
set, and 280 there as well. Perfect, so yeah, just to brief the departure, guys. Let me unload the flight, import this sector. Morning in 10 minutes. So there's no SID again for this airport. So SID, look, it's completely blank. So it's just maintain runway heading until cleared en route. Bear in mind the MSA in this sector is going to be quite high. So I'm just checking that on the approach chart. The MSA is 8,900. It's actually 13,900. So something to be aware of. Just maintain runway heading, and hopefully the approach controllers you get transition to has got radar, because they definitely do on the tower. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. And if the engine out, we have an engine out SID, if the engine fails, we've got to be very careful here. The briefing states that, go to the fixed page, so Oscar, Zulu, Tango, that's the VOR. We climb straight ahead until we are, I can't even read my writing. Helps if I can write it properly. Let me just check my OPT. Right turn after 8 miles, and then we go back to the airport to hold at this VOR, so we'll keep that there, so we don't hit any mountains. There we are, that's all good. Beautiful routing over the Atlas Mountains, and then we'll do a procedural approach onto 30. There we go, let's start the engine. So, packs off. It's going to get very hot very quickly. Anti-coal on. Parking brake, transponder out off. Do the checks.
Before start checklist below the line. Air conditioning packs.
Off.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Parking brake.
Set.
Transponder.
Alt off.
Before start checklist complete.
Perfect, starting engine number 2. Oh, it's too hot out there. N2, N1, oil pressure 25%. Fuel in. Well, let's hope I've cured my internet issues. Streaming now for 2 hours and 20 minutes and not a single hiccup. I've looked at the stream quality playback. I've not had one outage. I keep saying this. I am going to going to jinx this. 246. Yeah, look at that. 250. What does it do with the density altitude? 2 stable. Starting 1. Again, why would you say that? I knew someone would say that. If I was to guess, it would be cat. Maybe I should say the end. Head 2. Oil pressure. Head 1. Fuel in. 40 degrees. Anyone know them? Oh no, I answered that question the other day, didn't I? 49 degrees maximum temperature. What is this language? Oh, it's an American airline, isn't it? It's not a Qatar, it's American. Monitoring 1. 1 is stable. There's no tow bar for the pushback. We can now configure. Probe on regardless of temperature. Flaps to 5. Flight controls. Full forward. Full back. Left. Right. Here comes the rudders. Full right and full left. Recall and blank the lower DU. Now read the before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators.
On.
APU.
Off.
Start switch.
Cheers, Aaron. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for highlighting that.
Heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto. Bleeds on.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Flaps.
Ah, this.
5 green light
Flaps
set.
5 required and selected. Green light.
Stab trim.
Set.
Start levers.
It's glitchy, this
Idle
checklist sometimes.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Recall.
Checked.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Beat us to it. LOL.
Alpaca 11 Tango, that's approved. Please confirm your squad name on Charlie.
That's actually a good point there, home email. I should have isolated the pack to get the air as quick as possible in the cabin. If I was sat in 40-degree heat, you would do it, and we did do it earlier. Obviously, I'm sat in a cooler office here in the United Kingdom, but you're quite right, that would have been ideal. Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu request taxi.
Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu, taxi to holding point Charlie. And hold short Charlie.
Hold short Charlie, Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. Perfect, so clear left and clear right. Charlie's the one on the right, I think he's going to Bravo. Config check. No takeoff config warning. Let's go back to Fez. So when you're pulling off a remote stand, you want to minimise the amount of thrust. Good check around your surroundings, make sure all the equipment's clear. It's not like you've been pushed back onto a taxiway or the apron. I'll start before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config.
Checked.
Flaps.
Taxiing beautifully.
Flaps 5 set. Green light.
No, now it's working.
Stab trim.
Set.
Takeoff briefing.
So Pax Auto bleeds on, V speed set for departure, 40, 40, 48 set on the MCP. It's runway heading, climbing to flight level 280, and the engine out sits straight ahead till we get to 8 miles right turn to the beacon and hold. And terrain everywhere, so we'll follow the engine out sit if we have those problems. Reviewed. Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu, ready for departure.
Reviewed.
Cabin.
Secure.
Before takeoff checklist completed to the line.
Oddshore Charlie, Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. Perfect. So the whole point isn't very clear. It's well, we'll take that yellow dash line there. Perfect. The Alpaca Airbus fleets, you know, utilising both the Boeing and Airbus fleet on this profitable route between Ouarzazate and Fez. Perfect. Brendan, back in. Is this 2 sector day? Yes, it is. We're just at the whole point, ready for departure for sector number 2. Perfect. Parking brake is set. Hopefully we'll get that Airbus out the way. That's the only problem with Ortho. Microsoft Flight Sim is a big advantage over the textures. Obviously very close. Are very fuzzy, but obviously when you get to altitude, anything above 1,000 feet or so, it looks fine. So that's the only thing. When you're flying commercial jets like we do, 90% of the time on this channel, absolutely fine for us. Ali, has the lighting improved? A little. It's definitely better. Still too dark, in my opinion. It's still got this sort of adjustment. If it just stayed like this permanently, this permanent colour, I'd be happy. It is a little better, I feel. I presume they've changed it. Maybe they haven't. I'll just say that, but it does, in my opinion, look better. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's exactly the opposite. Absolutely, it looks great low level, but at high altitude, it doesn't look as good as Ortho. That's a shame. So no ATC unfortunately on departure. So we'll climb runway heading to 8 miles. Same as the engine out said. Once we're at 8 miles, make a right turn northbound. The MSA. Well, actually, we'll probably wait until the MSA. MSA in that sector is 13,900 feet, so we'll probably wait until we get to that height before turning. Hello, KFC Turbo. Question: if you're planning on using all of the runway, can you still stop in case of an RTO in this heat? So all takeoff calculations, KFC Turbo, regardless of runway length, temperature, conditions, all takeoff performance must satisfy that in the event of a rejected takeoff at V1, you can stop within the accelerate stop distance available. Every takeoff guaranteed, unless the crew mismanage it. So it'll guarantee that you can stop in the event of an RTO, and that you clear all obstacles in the event of an engine failure after V1. And this should be the case. We're going to use a lot of this runway because of the density altitude. You'll probably see Mr. Airbus here. See how much runway he uses. There you go. Probably going to be a similar amount to that. I don't know if there's anyone on final. Hopefully we'll get our backtrack instructions. Yeah, look, someone's just landing. Look, we're all air Morocco. What's he in, a Twin Otter? 180R or something? He's in an ATR. Oh, we need to fly that ATR again for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Sim 737 pilot, have you tried adjusting NVIDIA control panel brightness, contrast, digital vibrance? I don't dare touch any of that stuff. MPC clips, have you ever experienced a rejected takeoff of V1 before V1? No, I have done an RTO, but below 80 knots, very low speed, and we just took off again, and never had to do a high speed. Above 80 knots, fire, engine failure, predictive wind shear warning, or in the opinion of the commander, the aircraft is unsafe to fly. They're the only reasons you can reject above V1. Sorry. Yeah, the only reasons you can reject above 80 knots. Anytime. I keep wanting to say MCP clips, not MPC clips. Right, let's watch this in the individual in his ATR. The modelling on that's pretty good, isn't it, for a sort of a CSL? Is that pause? It's taking forever. It is slow. Ah, it's your initial. Don't apologise for your initials. Ooh. Ooh. Now delivery badge. Very nice. Liam Echo Lima, you said commander, but what if the FO says stop? You stop as well. But the captain is the one who decides to ultimately reject the takeoff.
Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu, sorry for the delay, backtrack runway 30, report ready for departure.
No problem at all. Line up backtrack runway 30, Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. What is he apologising for? There's traffic. It's got a bad track.
Ouais, mais c'est certificatif, bravo, donc ouais,
so we take a firm read back. Jim's happy, I'm happy. We'll configure so order throttle on. We don't need to select down over, it won't work. The radar on. Perfect. So, below the line.
Before takeoff checklist, below the line, MCP.
Ah, this.
Oh yeah, because it wants a mode. It probably doesn't realise.
Transponder.
It's blank.
TARA.
Strobe lights.
On.
Landing lights.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Perfect, all ready to go. Just need our clearance. Yeah, temperature, it's 40 degrees out here. Now watch this takeoff roll. Don't forget we're at full 26k, but the density altitude 8,000 feet. You'll notice the performance, and look at the comparison between true airspeed and ground speed on the takeoff roll. There's very little wind here, but you'll probably notice 20 knot difference, and that's due to the density altitude here. Correct, hardly. So just wait for our takeoff clearance. Ah yes, if you like my videos, you'll see a command from Nightbot there. All my playlists, I spent a few hours about a month or two ago dividing all of my previous streams into playlists based off specific aircraft. If I've only streamed it 1 or 2 times, it has sort of a kind of Captain Flyer and any other aircraft playlist, but ones I have done more than one stream and have specific playlists as well. The ZIBO mod's the most popular, but I've done like nearly 200 streams in the mod. What's the cabin temperature at the moment, said Vanguard? It is a refreshing 22 degrees. Perfect. Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu ready for departure.
Zulu, stand by, we'll call you back for departure.
Perfect. So remember, no SID, runway heading. Just waiting for that ATR to backtrack. Oh, he's used all the runway. I thought it'd be offloaded by now. Yeah, the ATR. I mean, it is hot and high. Oh, yeah, he could have easily have made that exit. We're 2.9 tons of fuel, need 2.8. Yeah, the estimated fuel burn on the mod's been a little off recently. Nixus, runway incursion. No, he's only just landed, he's backtracking. Many an hour I've spent on an active runway waiting for an aircraft to vacate. Or release from radar. Rick, ZIBO mod still great in X-Plane 11, of course, yes. I mean, some people still use it. I don't know if it's getting any updates or anything. What speed is this man doing? There we go, he's backtracking at a
good pace now. Would you run AP on stand earlier than usual in these temps? You wouldn't even turn it off in these temperatures, 40 degrees, unless you had some sort of external cart or air coming in. There we go, he's vacated.
Maroc 1460, taxi to stand of your choice.
That's my sort of clearance. Back an ATR standoff on the runway.
Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu, winds 340 at Philadelphia for takeoff runway 30. After departure, monitor Unicom 122 smart. Bye-bye.
30 cleared to take off after departure, Unicom 122 decimal. Thank you very much, ATC this evening, Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. Au revoir. Perfect. There we are. Landing lights on. Checks complete. Timing. Let's go back to Fez. Make sure I'm back in the game. There we are. We're going to use a lot of runway. Acceleration will be a lot slower than usual, even though we're full 26k. Stabilised. Set takeoff first. A little late fine-tuning that thrust, is usually a bit quicker, but there we are, 990. Takeoff thrust set indications normal. You can already see, look how high the ground speed is already compared to the indicated airspeed.
80 knots.
Checked 80 knots, even though our ground speed's 100 knots. So hot and high here. All the runway being used, look at this. Performance is spot on. All through the dead band. That was much better than the last takeoff. Gears coming up. Heading select, maintaining runway heading. Sun as well. Perfect. So it's NADP 2 here, I believe. Let me just double check. Yes, so we can now bug up. So look at, we would have accelerated in the end-to-end edge failure. We wouldn't have accelerated until all the way up here. That's just to improve that, because of that improved climb performance. So there's bug up, flap 1. There's a loss of lift. The aircraft wants to pitch down with flap retraction. Perfect. And flaps up. It's beautiful and smooth here. But you can see how the climb performance is impacted by the heat. Got a full thrust here climb. It's probably going to stabilise around 3,500 to 4,000 feet, no more. But if you're cooler, you get another 1,000 feet out of it easily. There we are, so flaps are up. No lights, VNAV, set standard. Command. Passing 764, flight level 280 after takeoff checklist. So remember the MSA, we're going to wait until we get a little higher here, and that's at 13.9, so we still want to get a little bit higher. You can see, look, if you turn too early, you're heading towards high terrain. So after takeoff checklist, gears off, brakes off, start switches to off, air conditioning pressurization 2.0, nice and cool set, rescrew, and the after takeoff check is complete. Ah, we've got some radar. So let's go from Unicom. And radar, good evening, it's Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu, just out of Ouarzazate, runway heading, climbing flight level 280.
Good evening, runway 44, runway 35, right.
Just going to maintain the runway heading still, because remember that terrain is very high. Let's get above the MSA until he gives us clearance, but now he's going to take control of radar.
Kenya 487, ILS 910 Marrakesh.
424, the wind is 35015.
It's MSA 13.9.
Paka 2 Mike Zulu, did you call?
Hey firm, maintain runway heading out of Ouarzazate, climbing flight level 280.
Paka 2 Mike Zulu, that was unreadable for me, I didn't receive any audio.
Hello, it's Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu, maintaining runway heading out of Ouarzazate, climbing flight level 280.
2 Mike Zulu, good evening. You are identified. Proceed direct Topsa and climb to level 260.
Direct to Topsa, climb flight level 260, Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. 260 checked, direct to Topsa, and that's our original cruise level. So we can turn below the MSA, because obviously radar control, he's going to be aware of the terrain and warn us, but obviously if we had an engine failure here, you want to be wary of that terrain. Look at that! That looks so good, the Atlas Mountains. Absolutely stunning. Just so comment about the MFRA and the BMDG. Look at this. Superb. Right. Let's do the post-cruise checks now at 10,000 feet. We're en route. Bit of a late turn, but that was because of the terrain. 2.6 on arrival. Our alternative's 2.8, so we'll keep an eye on that. Fuel, 4 pumps, lights coming off, APU's off, pressurization 4.5 and set. Trimmers on. Nice and smooth. Release the passengers, recool. There we are. Pre-cruise checks complete. And ETA to Fez, 20 past the hour, 40 minutes from now. Oh, the sun's setting as well. Yeah, it's looking better. Look at this. Ah, they're speaking American, not Arabic. I know I should be concentrating on the flying with that high terrain around, but I've got to enjoy the views of Orfo. How's the quality of the stream, guys? I don't think I've had any issues today, but I don't know now we're having this Ethernet cable straight to the hub. If it's any clearer, I uploaded 1080p. Maybe I can go up to 1440. I know I've certainly got the bandwidth for it, but go from there. Good shot, good. Oh, United. That's where we're flying in the back here. Yeah, I'll look into it. I've certainly got more than enough bandwidth for it. I don't want to push the boat out too far, and I've not done a Microsoft Flight Sim stream since the issues I had. Maybe I should just do that first. Anyway, and I'll maybe look at the thing is there really any benefit for me streaming at 1440p, seeing that my monitor is 1080p? Maybe I can upgrade my monitors. Yeah, that flat cable seems to be doing fine. Yeah, seems to fix my issue. Beautiful. What a lovely evening to go flying. As you can see, look, we're going a bit off route there, but we had to wait until we were above the MSA for that turn. But that was where HC gave us direct to Topsa. No stars into Fez. We will plan to fly via the VOR, the ILS approach. There's VOR only as well. There's no radar here, so you have to fly the procedural approach, or you've got the option of self-positioning if you want to. So you can self-position if you want during the day below the MSA, as long as you're in sight of the terrain, but at night you've got to make sure you maintain the MSA. So if I was self-positioning from the south onto the ILS, it'd be quite difficult because I cannot go below 8,900. from the north, a little easier. The MSA's 5,900. Oops, moving narrowgraph there. So, you know, you could go down to 5,900, self-position, maintain that height until established on the ILS, and then descend. But it's just easier to fly the procedural approach with step-down altitudes. Far safer as well. Okay. 1440 we're pretty pointless to stream at, just more for the PC to do at your end. For you it won't, but for those that have 1414 use it. I have still 1080. New monitor time, any excuse for new hardware? I'll see. I've got these Samsung monitors which have done me absolutely fine. Would you like to, you know, yoke cam, I'll show you my setup very quickly. Look, I'll turn on yoke cam. So this is what I'm looking at while streaming. This is a first, by the way. Absolute privilege if you're watching. Anything going to give away? No, you're right. Yeah, look. So that's my setup. Look. On the left, I've got X-Plane. On the right, Streamlabs, so I can see the quality of the stream, and that's Navigraph there. And they're just 1080p Samsung curved monitors, which go really well together. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So there's my radio tuning panel. There's my laptop open, so I can see what you guys are up to in chat, and there's my controls. So that's my setup. There you go. But it works really well, and I've used this for some time. This setup here. There you go. Look at that. You never know what I can reveal in a live stream. Oh, here's my fat belly. There we go. That's a little better. Very good. Yeah, they're good monitors for 1080p. I've always liked Samsung as a brand, and I bought these when I moved house last time, 3 years ago, because I had much more room for this new desk, and I have the desk set on like the monitor set on like a wooden shelf, which is really nice. Hasabasa, self-positioning during the day is everywhere the same. Well, self-positioning is an option for all approaches. Usually if it's in a radar environment with a lot of traffic, you won't get approval for that. It's sort of like a visual approach. Visual approach, you are then responsible for terrain clearance. You can do a visual approach daytime, nighttime. Daytime you can descend as you wish to stay out of terrain, but at nighttime, no self-positioning below the MSA. This is an operator ops manual restriction. No self-positioning below the MSA at night. I should think most airlines would have a similar restriction, because obviously it's pretty dangerous. You can't see the ground, and if you're self-positioning below the MSA, well, you can hit something. It's quite simple, really. Thing is, I don't know. I've got the. I know the PC can do it. I just want the best quality stream for you guys. I've been using 1080, which is fine. Oh, I had a look. Oh, look. So I think this is X-Plane causing these graphics issues. I've still got the Control-Alt-Delete here. My GPU is temperature just rock solid at 56 degrees. But someone else did say they've been having this flickering in the X-Plane 12 beta. Maybe I'll best not stress my GPU more. But yeah, I'm not. 14 is 1440. Is that 4? No, that's not 4K, is it? I'm not going to go up to 4K. That's too much. $2.5K. Okay. Perfect. Hasabasa, any real flights to Morocco? Yes, I have been to Morocco in the past, but years ago. I'm just loving this. Sorry everyone. I should do that first. Just loving the scenery. Yeah, that's it. 256 and 4Ks 3840. I'll think about it. I've got a few other things lined up at the moment to worry about, but then I will perhaps consider upgrading my screens. Beautiful, isn't it, Matthias Diniz? George Camp PC specs. One of my mods will get up the specs in a second for you. Cheers, Domino, seen it. MCP Clips is on it. MPC Clips is on it as well. Hey Romulus, hope you're doing well, buddy. I'm assuming that if you ran at 1440, the Streamlabs would have to downsample to provide the stream at 1080. Not sure how that would affect performance or stream quality. Yeah, so I think Streamlabs has the option. I've got it capped at 1080, but I think you can just simply select. I think there's the option to increase it. Oh, I just realised my laptop's not plugged in. Oh, but I'm going to lose you in chat if I don't get that plugged in. There we are. Then again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've got it all working quite nicely now. Wonderful. Right, we best start setting up for our approach to Fez. Your controls, Jim. What are we streaming next then, guys? What aircraft do you want? I could do any of the 10 million aircraft. Maybe something on Saturday, we'll see. There's a lot of VATSA. I looked at the VATSA events. Birmingham are doing a massive one. I was actually invited to take part in that. So I could do something from there. No 154. That's not compatible, I explained to him anyway. Good excuse. Concorde. Concorde, I'll need a few days to prepare for that. I'm not a fan of just streaming off the cap. I always want to reinstall it, do a practice sector first. Concorde needs at least 2 or 3 sectors. I am busy tomorrow. Oh, good news everyone. I passed my class 1 medical yesterday. Fit as a fiddle, my AME said. My blood pressure was good. You had to do an ECG this year. Perfect. No upsets. I'm feeling very calm and zen in my life right now. QNH is 1015 in Fez. Fixed wings in for runway 27. 10, 4. Cruising at 26,000 feet, so that's around 78 miles from the airport for top of descent. You can see it's a little bit earlier, that's because we've got to do a procedural approach, that's normal. Let's have a look here. 154 Airbus, no, Concorde. I'd like to fly the Concorde again soon. MD-11, you know, I've done a few MD-11 streams, 2 or 3, and they've always been very, very popular, and the aircraft is much better. I knew Stefan would fly this A154, you know he likes it. 742 is always a classic. Blériot. Mad Dog again. Ooh. We'll see, we'll see. So no arrivals into Fez, no stars into Fez. We're already after the next waypoint here. Topset routing direct to the Fez VOR, so there's no no radar here, so we should be able to do the procedural approach. So the ILS is 1097. Oh, do you want me to do the VOR? Do you guys want me to do the VOR? Yeah, of course you will. There's no point asking. I'll do the VOR approach for you. You guys see too many ILSs. To be fair, it's about 95% of the, well, 98% of the approaches I do are VORs. So we'll do the VOR. 15.7, 272. It's always good for me to practice anyway, a non-precision approach. And we'll look at how the mod's going to put us high anyway on that. So frequencies, courses, minimums for the VOR approach, 2,300. That's an MDA. We need to add 40 feet to this. 2,340. That's to ensure that we don't bust the high limit of this approach. 2,340. Good stress test of the mod and VNAV as well. This will leave us high because of the temperature. It's still hot down there. Not as hot as Ouarzazate, but hot enough. So frequencies are tuned. Course is 272. 15.7. Minimums are set as well. So what we're going to do, fly the procedural approach direct to the Fez VOR, which is 15.7. And tuned. And we're going to be at or above 6,300. There's an equal sign here. Why that's there, I don't know. This is max 210 knots, so we need to bring the speed back at the Fez VOR. So 210 knots, 6,300, 10 miles, after 10 miles, or after the VOR can set to 4,100. If there's no DME, you go out for 2.5 minutes, but we've got DME. Right turn to the NDB, passing the NDB. It's not actually on the chart for the path, but it's after 8 miles. Also 9.3 is the 7 points, so that's CF27. I can't get the EFIS. So there's CF27. It's slightly overshot here. We'll keep an eye on that. Just check that track is 072. I noticed this last stream. Look at the tracks on the look at the approach here. This outbound track is 072. After Fez, it says north 360. That's, I don't know why it's saying that. That track is way off, but it is. I think it's just how it's depicted on the FMC. The actual pitch is great, and when I last flew a procedural approach, it worked fine. So I think that's just a ZIBOism. The tracks aren't matching the outbound track, but we'll keep an eye on it. 4,100. Down we go. Minimums. Descent angles 3 degrees. Path. Checks in the FMC. There's 4,100. Cool. So. Flap 5 on the downwind leg before turning base. Get down flap 15, we'll plan for 4 miles. We'll use LNAV and VNAV, and we'll use the automation as well. Flap, we've got... where's the airport? Yeah, nice long runway, 3,200 metres, so we'll go flap 30, order break 3-second D10. Vacate right in November. That should do us for the procedural approach. If you have any questions about VORs, we've done plenty of non-procedural approaches, so feel free to ask. Just to make sure I've got the chart selected as well. Performance 2.8. We need 2.8 to divert as well. So we've got no extra fuel. 2.9 again. That's been going up and up on the stream. So that's 900 to burn. Landing weight 62.3. Flap 30. Order break 3. Perfect. All ready to go. Ah, Finley's here, is he? Oh, hello, Finley. Haven't seen you in a stream in a while. Hope you're doing well. Finley's a very long-term member of the channel, moderator as well. Works for Nats, I'm led to believe still. So I hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you here. London City Concord, no. Hasapasso Ziboism, the new religion from Pastor Flight Deck to Sim. wait, I've been waiting for this moment my whole streaming career. Yes, there we go. Joshix, we're still flying, we are, second sector. Bill Paddy says, guys, boring question. Do you have to type someone's name to reply in YouTube chat, or is there a shortcut? Press @ and then the name to bring it to their attention. You can bring it to my attention by @FlightDeckSim or someone else in the chat window. Aaron says, been a long time since we've flown the A306, A310, I think. Do a long haul. Now, there's an event going on in Birmingham on Saturday with a full ATC, and another one in northern Spain. Do something like that. In the A310. That'd be good for the... I'd probably do the Microsoft Flight Mini builds, because I don't think it's updated for X-Plane 12 and I don't have it installed anymore. Oh yes, I know what I needed to do. Streamlabs, turn on its chatbot thing, which always turns off. It's very annoying. I don't know how to turn it on. Better actually turn up ATC here. Descent flight level 200, Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. Set. And we've still quite a while for top descent, 20 miles, 30 miles. We'll push out at events. The aircraft will now descend at 1,000 feet a minute. There we are, Streamlabs Cloudbot on. Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu requests the procedural approach for the ILS approach runway 27 via the Fez VOR Morocco. Perfect. Correction, sorry, the VOR approach, VOR DME runway 27 via Fez. Perfect. Yeah, Beluga, I'm not flying ages, but it's still X-Plane 11 only. Are they going to actually update that? The enhanced skyscapes guy released a Lewis script that fixed the dark cockpits. Among the shader tweaks, you should check it out. I heard about that. Lima Echo Lima 3. Liam. I sort of waited for this update. It is a bit better, but maybe I should check that out. Yeah, A310 Beluga just not working X-Plane 12, unfortunately. Jan Frez says, hey, is it bad for airlines if you don't pass all ATPL subjects first time? Now, no, Jen Phase. I mean, I'm under the assumption here that you might have failed one of your exams. If that is the case, sorry to hear that. You know, restudy and retake the exam to get that pass. They're going to look at everything, big picture. They might ask you why you failed it, and that's it. But still apply. Don't feel downhearted. It doesn't automatically mean you'll not get a job. Hasabasso, when do you use flat 40? Generally on shorter runways, but as you might have seen today, we had a nice long runway in Ouarzazate, but I used flat 40. That's because of I just wanted to get the ground speed and true airspeed as low as possible, and our approach speed as low as possible, because of the density altitude. Such a big difference between the ground speed and our true airspeed and indicated airspeed, around 20 knots. So obviously the approach speed is going to be higher. So I want to get the speed down to reduce as much energy from the plane as possible in that situation. A340? Yeah, I could do the A340. That's always a popular stream. Last one we did was across the pond. Carson, good point there. Don't make excuses if they ask you how you failed something. Always own up to it and explain how you corrected and not make the same mistake. Absolutely perfect. Are you an interviewer, Carson Jewett?
We do have ILS on right.
Pastor of the Church of ZIBOism. You're welcome, Hasso Passo. As pastor of ZIBO, as pastor of ZIBOism, I'm happy to help you whenever possible. Appropriate time. 6,300 feet, QNH 1015, Alpaca 2 by Zulu. 6,300 feet, set QNH 1015, VNAV. After Fez cleared VOR DME approach, runway 27, call 5 miles, Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. Pasta, yeah, pastor. Quite surprised I'm not seeing lots of pasta emojis. I don't even know if that's possible. Pasta, oh dear.
Mamma mia!
He hungry. Carson, I'm an aviation student at Liberty University, actually commercial check ride on Tuesday. Best of luck with that, sir. I think you'll do absolutely fine. You seem to have your heads screwed on, even with just that one statement in chat. Edo's loving the Mamma mia. Quick question for all of you. We all played Mario Kart. Who did you drive as? I was always Luigi. Love Luigi. Went to Hunstanton 2 weeks ago, and my girlfriend and I, we always do the same thing. We go there, we play on the they've got the Mario Kart racing thing, you know, £2 to race. I always go as Luigi. I always lose. I'm always lose. Toad? No, it wouldn't be Toad. That's so bastard, you got that right. Yeah. Yoshi for the win. Yeah, I was going through some of my old stuff the other day, and I found I couldn't find my Game Boy, but I found the Game Boy cartridge game for Zelda Oracle of Seasons, and I was hooked to this game, and I never completed it. It was really hard, so I don't know if anyone ever played Zelda Oracle of Seasons. And I had it for, I think it was Game Boy Color or maybe Game Boy Advance, I can't remember. No, it was a big cartridge, but I think I had it on the Game Boy Advance, so it used to stick out. Oh, I used to love that game.
Because we had the mess on that weapon, so can we go Charlie Seattle?
So doing VNAV, VNAV's alarm profile, so the aircraft will do 1,000 feet per minute until it recaptures the profile. And because it's been cleared for the entire approach, we should be able to leave it in LNAV, VNAV all the way down to minimums. Oh, are these the new clouds? Ooh. Oh yeah, they do look a little better. Looks like a sort of covering the mountains there in the distance. It wasn't the best way of choosing it by doing it, but flying in Morocco where it's completely roasting hot. (0321) showed you in New York, visiting the Castle Museum a couple of weeks ago. Had all the gaming consoles from my youth on display there. I felt really old seeing toys from my youth in a museum on display. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, I had an original Game Boy. Original Game Boy had Tetris, Super Mario World. What other games did I have it? And I had Wario World as well? Can't remember. That didn't have a Game Boy Color. Then I had Game Boy Advance, and then there was a game we used to play when I was in year 7 at school that came out, Advance Wars. I used to play it with some friends on the bus. I used to connect it with the cable. Your Game Boy Advance on the cable to play multiplayer, or you could pass it around. Classic. There we are, back onto the profile. So the aircraft's now going to go retard arm. Pop the seatbelt sign on. Yeah, X-Plane 12 is looking great, guys. This is the beta. I've not had a single hiccup entire stream. Touch wood. Look at that, not bad for a 2-sector. Usually my 2 sectors are 4.5 hours, but we're 3 hours into the stream, and we've done a full missed approach. That's what it's nice. What it's like when you keep the sectors short. Jan, you've not taken your APL exams yet, but I'm studying it. Distance-based at the moment, so don't really have an idea of what to expect. I just know I have to do a lot of question banks. Nothing's changed. And it's Smith bonus sector? No, it's just past 7. Need to go get some food. It's my first day off, and you know, my girlfriend's off at the moment as well. So I need to. She very kindly let me stream today. She lets me stream whenever I like. Very, very, very lucky. Ugh, no to Resident Evil. Never liked those games. One of the best ever games I ever played growing up on the PlayStation 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. Absolute classic. That made me cry, I think, at the end of that game. Correct, Paul. Yeah, then they had Metal Gear Solid 5, I think, on the... Played on the Xbox. That was pretty good as well. But it sort of ended a bit prematurely, that game. You thought the story hadn't ended, but it had ended. Every penny goes to buying flowers. I'm very, very, very lucky. Yeah, Snake Eater, yeah. I remember that mission in the forest with the guy with the beard. He'd sneak up behind you. He used to scare the bejeebus out of me. So monitoring VNAV. Again, holding the path nicely. Speed's trickling up. We'll just monitor it. Looking good, guys. Yeah, one's handling beautifully. So I'll select the charts here for your benefit, so we can actually check them on monitor our progress as we fly the VOR approach. And he said report 5 miles, which I presume is on final. There we go. yeah, that track is just inaccurate though. What 028 is our current track inbound, but then 072 it should state. So I wouldn't be flying this in real life. I'd be wondering why that track was incorrect. That's Sebastian, what is the weirdest hobby you've ever heard of from a co-pilot? I think there's some. I've heard some funny ones from certain people, but not any that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, my hobby is this, I suppose. But I do a lot of shooting now. I go shooting with another captain. He's a very, very good friend of mine. And we go shooting every week, at least, if not twice a week. Hey, I'm a little better now at shooting. I don't know. It's not like golf. So yeah, I should be doing 250 knots here. Level change. Oh no, that's heading select. Level change. The mod should be doing 250 here. It seems to have given up trying to slow down. So I'm actually going to bring the speed all the way back now. Yeah, this should be doing 210 at this point. It's screwed this up somehow. So we're going to go 210 and bring the speed back. Yeah, by shooting, get a little better now at shooting. Clay targets, that's correct. Yeah, the aircraft should be able to do that idle path, no speed brake, and give you a decel point to pitch up and slow down 210 knots by the beacon. Anyway, directly below us is Fez Airport. There we go. That's where we're going to be landing. And outbound we go. So we can stow the speed brake now. So VNAV should... Oh, we are... No, level change, my bad. VNAV is now going to nail that path. Jack has found a new life as a gun dog. No, I'm not taking him. Wouldn't be very good, I don't think. Now we are outbound 072 until 10 DME. And we can step down to 4,100 feet. Oop, let's do the post-cruise checks. Too busy chatting. Fuel 4 pumps, we have 3.5 on board. Logo, light not required. Angular banks, 25. Pressurization, set. All nice and cool. Seatbelt still on. Recall, checks complete. Larry, it looks like a new combined Alpaca flight deck to sim livery. Very nice. Reduced size of the Alpaca Airways word markers are particularly well done. Ah, we've had this one for a while. Yeah, this is the Boeing Alpaca Airways transition liveries. It's superb. Jordan, one of my members, one of the members of the channel, made this some time ago. If you'd like to download any of the liveries for Alpaca Airways, use the command ! liveries, and a website made from GFace. One of my moderators has put all of the liveries on there, and several other members assist with that too. Right, max 210 knots here, so we're going to select flap 1, speed checked, and bug the 1 speed. Just monitor the indicated airspeed here. Flap 1, still accelerating, so flap 5. Again, I want to use a little bit of speed brake to help out. Bit of a tailwind here.
6 Juliet,
yeah, I need to remember to call him at 5 miles. Oh, look at the sun. It's nice haze modelled here in X-Plane 12. I've sort of stopped using Active Sky at the moment. Just using the stock weather, which for me is okay. But Active Sky, the last few times I've used it, I've had issues. Could have been something my side I was doing, but yeah, not liked the what it's been doing to the weather. Contact tower 118.8. Thanks a lot for the ATC. Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. Bye. Perfect. So we'll just turn on to final. We'll go flap 10 now. Speed check below 210. Still got the speed brake out here. And this is one of the things I like about the mod. It keeps an idle path descent all the way around. PMDG1, it sort of goes very early, very low, and just does 100 feet per minute. This is sort of what it should be doing all the way in. Let's see how well it puts us on the profile first before I keep praising it, but it's looking very nice so far. It's continuous idle path descent. Look at this. You know I love the 7.3 compared to the Airbus, but I do think the Airbus is the 7.3 is a lot prettier. Down to 4,100, which is set, and next we'll then set the descent up to descent point 1,200. Now, you know what I was saying about how the PMDG puts you low. It looks like Mod could be doing something similar. It's on a little shallow here. Let's just keep an eye on it. Elevation's 1,800. Yes, it's put me a tad low here. Let's just see what it does. Why is it leveled off here? Is it offset this approach as well? No. Stunning. Oh, better contact tower, hadn't I? Tower, hello, it's Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu, just turning final approach track for VOR approach runway 27. Yeah, the VNAV's got a bit low here.
2 Mike Zulu winds 330 at 11 knots, clear to land on runway 27.
27 clear to land, Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu.
1,000 to go.
Checked. Yeah, so it was doing it well, and then it's gone very low. It's actually see it. Why has it done that? We're still 3 miles to lose 500 feet. It should be doing a nice, continuous, sort of steeper descent until 4,100. Now it's just doing a very shallow descent. It's sort of done a CDA. Now, this is horrible, but this is just like real life. It's also horrible when it's hazy, flying into the sun. You cannot see anything, and it's just like that now in the sim. That's pretty realistic. So approaching our descent point. That's better. That's the path. It should have been doing this all the way down. Right, approaching descent. So 2,400 feet. And it's then VNAV path speed window is open. That looks good. That's much better. So it should have been doing this sort of idle path descent all the way down. So next 4,100 feet is the final approach fix. Just passing it there. Oh yeah, the NDB I could have tuned. So there's the FAF. 4,100 feet, no flags. Altitude checks, no flags. We'll do one height check at 3 miles, 2,090 feet. Oh wait, no, looking at the wrong point there. 8 miles, 3,690. 8 miles, 3,690. Pretty much on profile. And you can see it's looking good out there. Let's start configuring. Get out, flap 15. Match speed. Landing checklist of flaps. Start switches. Recall. Speed brake. Armed green light. Landing gear. Down 3 green. Auto brake is set to 3. And 175 flap 30. Configured a little earlier here. Yeah, looking good. The auto throttle. One thing I want the mod to check. Look, I'm overriding the auto throttle, but it's not adding thrust, and it's getting a little slow here. So the auto throttle disconnecting. It should be a lot more responsive to slow speed. The real auto throttle is very good at that. Missed approach altitude 4,100 feet set. So my thrust
1,000.
checked.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Perch altitude.
Perfect. Disconnecting. So I think this autopilot just needs a bit of tweaking. Recycle flight directors. Sorry, yoke cam. Clear to land. Keep the runway on the same point on the windscreen. Just watch that rate of descent. Yeah, so the autopilot and the auto throttle is very slow to respond. When you get below your target speed, the auto throttle is quite quick to respond. The thing is, I think there's a mode in the settings in the FB tablet where you can allow it to override the auto throttle, which is quite realistic because you're often having to override it on final because it's a bit slow to respond. Check. Whoa, look at that rate of descent. Sorry. I should have gone around. That rate of descent checked. Right, less talking, more flying.
300.
Oh, I don't feel quite trim yet. Oh, my rate of descent's a bit high. But then again, my ground speed's high because of the density. Altitude 2. A good excuse to say that. Ballooning speed. on speed there, a little bit higher than the threshold. Well, the threshold's about here anyway.
50, 40, 30,
check,
20,
close. Ooh, oh, what? The numbers again. It was a bit firm. Yeah, I think the density actually makes a big difference in handling in X-Plane, more than I think I'd expect. 100.
80 knots.
80. Manual braking. Ooh, what done there to the camera? Not sure. Cancelling reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fez. An acceptable landing. Only acceptable and good landing here. Well, at least on the aiming point. On the aiming point. We'll take the next right here. I think it's Charlie. Looks a bit... Why does it look like it's sloped to the left? Is it just me? It looks like I've got a flat tyre. It feels like I'm sort of angled down. Anyway, we're here. Beautiful.
Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu, taxi Romeo 8.
Romeo Stand 8, thank you very much for the ATC this evening. Alpaca 2 Mike Zulu. Bye.
Bye, thanks for visiting Morocco.
We'll be back again soon, buddy. Bye bye. Excellent.
Bye.
Someone tweeted to say they've got ATC, so I don't know if it was anything to do with that. But excellent stand 8. I'll utilise the fact that I can take my head out of the cockpit to find out where the stand is. Wonderful day. I really enjoyed these streams. We had ATC for the entire sector. With no events at all. It was really nice to have. Yeah, I was destabilised at the gate as well. One of the things desktop simulators aren't the best at modelling is that sensation. You'd very much realise a change in rate of descent from sort of something stable down to 1500. That change you'd feel and you'd react accordingly. It's very hard in a desktop sim to notice that. I looked down, I was doing 800, looked again, I was doing 1500. I was like, oh, that's not right. But you don't get that sensation that you're doing that. Yeah, I should, at the gate, my rate of descent was 1500. That is too much. That is too much. Flaps going up. APU's on its way. I've put those off as well. I think that was Dan, wasn't it, in the Airbus, joining me on both the sectors, which is great. Yeah, X-Plane 12, internet, all good today. Oh, look at that. Park next to our Airbus friend. About hitting anything. Beautiful. Parking brake sets. APU is almost there. Whilst I'm there, I can do that and that. On bus. 2 blues, red, engines dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fez. What a lovely 2-sector day. Austin's here with vegan food. Wonderful. Right. Seatbelt signs off. Weather radar can come off. Transponder 2000 standby. And that's all done. Flight directors off. 4100. Yeah, the mod did well, but VNAV at the end there was a little wonky. That was all. Perfect. Let's do the shutdown checklist. Full shutdown checklist.
Shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps.
Off.
Electrical.
APU on the bus.
Fasten belts.
Off.
See how much I forgot.
Window heat.
Off.
Probe heat.
Off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Electric hydraulic pumps.
An enemy.
Off.
I agree, Marcus.
Voice recorders.
Damn.
Daffy, don't trip on the Ethernet when you walk down the stairs. Brilliant. Actually, for the last flight, it can be an auto, but it can be on as well.
Air conditioning packs.
Auto.
Engine bleed.
On.
APU bleed.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Checked.
Start switches.
Off.
Auto brake.
Off.
Speed brake.
Down D10.
Flaps.
Up, no lights.
Parking brake.
Set.
Start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Oh, thank you, NPC Clips. Thank you.
CVR circuit breaker.
In.
Cockpit door.
Unlocked.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Oh, thank you very much there, buddy.
Excellent stream as always. Your content has helped me out recently, so thanks to you and your community captain.
Well, thank you very much, NPC Clips, for your £5 donation. Very generous of you, and you only joined as a member today as well. Welcome aboard. Thanks for your donation, and we'll catch up on Discord. Feel free to tag me. It's all to the members as well. I'm there for your service if you have any questions about this aircraft in particular or anything aviation-wise. I'm sure to help you out, as will many of the other members, moderators, and other pilots in the community. Thank you very much, NPC Clips, for your donation. Nice stream. X-Plane 12 Beta, yeah, good. It looks fine. Major things I can see? Well, I don't know really. I think it's more graphics, isn't it? I don't think there's any under the hood major changes, but it wasn't very cloudy and the weather was perfect pretty much everywhere we went there. But I think today's stream really highlighted the impacts of high altitude and hot temperature operations. The aircraft handling felt quite different here. In reality, I've not really done any sort of very high density altitude, sort of as high as it was at Ouarzazate. I don't think the handling is that different. There's certainly nothing procedurally that's mentioned. Whereas in the aircraft in the flare there felt a little different. Not too much there. But the performance of the ZIBO mod was very, very good today. The only thing that really I can point out was the autopilot and auto throttle on the latter stages of the ILS on the first approach was a bit sluggish. VNAV was working very well all day. Just on that last bit of the approach turning base, it levelled off briefly and then descended correctly after that. But it seems to be the auto throttle's a little too slow to respond. In real life, it is a bit quicker, but you often do have to override it. So do what I did, disconnect the auto throttle, take control where you can add and change thrust rapidly to keep your speed under control. Second approach was a little destabilised the gate, but as I said, change of rate of descent is hard to gauge in a desktop simulator. Let's look at some comments before I do the replay and sign outs. Vieta 45 Captain, have a question. What happens if you overspeed 250 knots? Restriction under 10,000 feet, for example, if you do 270. Are there going to be any consequences from authorities? No, none at all, really. It's just there to keep everyone around the same speed for controls. Sometimes they want you to go higher. It is standard speed, though, 250 below 10,000, so everyone slows down unless AC specifically say maintain high speed. But if you're going slightly over, or even majorly over, they're not going to really say anything. They might pop up if you're doing something like 300 knots, but we all slow down to 250 knots. Good question. Who else do we see here? Yeah, it did feel on the left main landing gear, left the touchdown point. Oh, unbelievable, very critical. It was a nice firm landing, but both landings were right on the money, I suppose. Excellent. Well, that's it. Tom Knudsen, have I donated so much that my name got stuck at the bottom? What's that, Tom? I don't even know what you're referring to. But you've donated, been very generous to me in the past. Thank you very much for your support, as ever. Is there a way to rewatch member stream only? New member here. Marcus, all my members only group flights are streamed privately, but they're always publicly released afterwards. So check out the members only group flight streams. But as members, I do occasionally stream on Discord practice sectors. I mean, on, what was it, a couple of nights ago, I was playing Battlefield 1 with 3 or 4 guys, so that's pretty fun. I don't do that every day, and I am going to be very busy in the next month or two, but I'll be always around to ask questions and things like that. But have a look out on the Discord live stream there. Excellent. Meant that your stream notification on bottom is stuck. I think it resets every week, Tom, that one. All the super chat and other stuff, I haven't touched that in years, but it restarts every week, I think. Excellent, we'll call that a day. I don't know if any of the controllers are watching, but thank you very much for all the ATC. One of them did tweet saying, oh, we've got ATC for you, so that was excellent. Superb. Oh, it's very jazzy, smooth music. Well, I'll turn that down now. I'll then turn off Fly Live and cue the funky replay music. But yeah, I'm firstly so happy the internet seems to be sorted. Again, I don't know if that's a Microsoft Flight Sim thing, but certainly plugging an Ethernet cable. 3 hours, 24 minutes of unadulterated interruptions, none at all, let's say. It's all looking very, very good here, my side, so I'm glad that's happened, and the quality is good. Ooh, don't do that, I'm risk crashing. But yeah, X-Plane 12 flawless, internet flawless, happy that everything's working back as it always should do. Try out the beta in X-Plane 12, it's looking very good, working very nicely. Right, let's have a look at this landing then.
400, 300, 200.
So that was okay, my landing rate was fine there, but there was a little period, where was it? Dipped around 1500. So yeah, there it is. So you can see here, it's all looking good. I'm doing about 1,000, and then sort of watch the rate of descent look. Just creeps to 1,500, and that change is very noticeable when flying the real plane. In the desktop sim, it isn't, but you know, I was at the gate at that point, and that rate of descent was a little excessive. Anyway, let's have a look at this touchdown.
Anytime NPC clips, see you in Discord. Cheers, Matt. Hope you enjoyed it. Tom gets it perfect. Hope you're doing well anyway. Anytime Vahita. That does look good. It was a nice firm landing today. Both of them were. Bang on the centre line though. Look at that. I mean, another textbook Boeing defined landing. I'll just do that again. There's a little bit of left rudder in the flare. Look to get the. Oh yes. Centre line tracking on point, aiming point, on point. I wonder if they fixed the replay bug. See, replay seems to be pretty stable now. Just the aircraft it's handled so nicely in the sim. And you know, we're talking about the flight factor, how the flight controls are too slow. Look how the rudder moves. That's sort of the inputs you want to be seeing. And you watch any replay of a real aeroplane landing in crosswind conditions, that's how the rudder moves. The flight factor, they need to fix that. A lot of people have been tagging me about that after we had the issue a few streams ago, so hopefully they'll fix that in the not too distant future. Anyway, let's pop you in for the wing view for the last approach here. I'll pop you around 1,000 feet or so, and then we shall call it a day. There we go, that'll do. Excellent. Well, thank you very much once again for popping in for another Flight Deck Sim live stream. I know it's been a while since I've last streamed. Really enjoyed today, the outing in the ZIBO mod. I fully recommend updating the mod to the latest version. I expect it will be beta seems well. Love the sim. Might do something Saturday, Sunday. I'll let you know in the usual social media channels. I don't always post on social media about streams. The best way of staying up to date is by subscribing, turning on the bell icon for notifications when I publish streams. Thank you for everyone that donated. Thank you to all the members for your continued support, and to all the regular viewers and subscribers. Thank you very much for popping in. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you on another live stream very soon. Enjoy the rest of your morning, evening, wherever you are. Good night from me.